Happy New Year, Nintendo Land! The year of the Switch is nearly at an end, and while it's brought many legitimate competitive gaming experiences, as well as a lot of fan passion for Nintendo, it has also renewed some of Nintendo's oldest tactics, like artificial scarcity and the Nintendo tax. Tonight, we take an honest look back at 2017 and speculate on the unique gaming experiences of 2018. So stick around for our first ever roundtable discussion. But before we begin, let me introduce tonight's panel. We have all of our regular crew with us tonight. Of course, there's Momo, there's Z, and we also have Eric the Arcade Bunny. Max is with us, and of course, I'm your host. But we also have a special guest who hasn't been with us in a while. Welcome back to the show, Q. It's good to have you. So, tonight, we start off with how this year started off, and that was with the Switch presentation. We're going to take a look back at how you guys thought the Switch would be before it was launched, and then what you thought after the presentation, and then looking on to launch and, of course, now. So what was your thoughts on the NX? What was the NX going to be?
It's hard to remember now that we know what it is, what they said it was going to be. But I remember there was talk that it would be a hybrid console. It would be part home console, part portable. And I think they even said there would be detachable controllers, but they got it wrong a little bit. I guess
I don't remember ever hearing anything about detachable controllers, but definitely the portable home console hybrid was one of the very early details that they did drop. And I remember thinking about the NX and hoping it was going to be right. There was some wild speculation in rumors, and it's going to be this bizarre ass controller. It's going to have a screen with a hole in it. Remember that patent?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's going to be Android.
There was
there was
going to be
that rumor too.
There was also and all of those could have been very interesting directions. And then when the reveal finally happened in October, I'm like, that's it. Really? I was not. Not impressed.
I remember, it's exactly what they said it was going to be. That was kind of
nothing more. And nothing more. That's what bothered me, right? Again, I'm a gimmick guy. I love that stuff. So that disappointed me at first. Then I found out it's got motion controls. I was happy. Go ahead, Eric.
I remember that I liked their code name better than their actual name. I was like,
that's always the case.
Great.
Yeah, you always get tied to that.
Project Cafe became the
Dolphin,
Wii U, became the Wii. Well, everyone hated the Wii name.
Like Cafe, I mean,
it's still better than Wii U,
man. Cafe didn't sound. What
was Revolution? Was that the Wii?
What was the code name?
Yeah, Revolution.
Revolution was the Wii. Yeah,
which that sounded badass. They could still use that.
Yeah,
but wait, what was Dolphin?
Should have used it for the Switch, really.
Dolphin was GameCube, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. See, they should have called the Switch the Revolution.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a nice name. It's nice. It's short. It's concise. But I remember when I saw the first thing, I remember some people making a big deal that they showed like Skyrim. So it was just like, it's gonna have something. But I was just like, but they had Mass Effect on the Wii U, so. I wasn't
exactly.
Wait, they showed Skyrim at launch?
Yeah, in the initial trailer.
In January. Oh, did they
show it? They showed it in October.
In October. Oh, yeah, you're right.
They showed that, and they showed the NBA 2K. Mm-hmm. They showed a little bit of Odyssey,
and Splatoon,
which at the time was just a Mario game. Yeah, but I was just kind of like, it looks cool. I'm gonna buy one anyway because it's Nintendo. But
and it might be their last.
Blown away.
Yeah. Any console might be their last.
But it was really well received. Like, it had buzz going.
Yeah.
Despite having, so many, like everything we've complained about since before it launched has not been fixed that I can think of. Voice chat, internet of any kind,
stuff we complained about since launch.
Functionality. Yeah, it's all the same problems. Like, certain games have. Like Rocket League and Splatoon, they have online. They it doesn't require anything fancy, but there's still no Rocket League doesn't have its own voice chat, right?
No.
Can you even voice chat on Rocket League?
I don't know if it does on other systems. Yeah, I don't know if it
Oh,
does on
fair
other
enough.
systems. Like it's got like an in-game chat, just like kind of how
Like a simple basic,
a
yeah, like
little
Splatoon
bit
is what it
more
does.
complex than the Booyah and
Yeah.
this way, but still pretty much the same. Like, which it's
Why
all
did
right.
they change that to come on or from come on? I always thought that was better because it made such a good one, like when you were
Yeah.
repeatedly getting killed.
Yeah,
Right.
there's some saltiness to it.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Because it could be come on or it could be come on. Yeah.
They do that in Rocket League too with what
Yeah,
a save.
Yeah.
If you make a good save, what a save. If you score on your own goal, what a save. It's,
I've noticed.
like that's the thing when they don't have voice chat, you just get passive aggressive texting.
Yeah, that's the phone games, Clash Royale, man. It's Troll City out there. Everybody's a troll. And it's the same thing. There's only like I think there's 8, set responses that you can send. So people make great use of them, right?
Yeah.
They will torment the
the only
crap out of you.
the only good thing about
Well played.
preset responses is they translate to every language, like they have in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, that's
but they're not
exactly.
salty enough.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is sometimes something like "come on" could come off totally differently in a different language or whatever, right?
Yeah.
As could "booyah," right?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Is Booyah in any other language?
Yeah, I wonder if other languages might have a. I wonder what it sounds like in French.
Bouillet.
But I think we're already getting way off topic.
Yeah.
Of course.
Rein it in, people.
Yeah.
So you're switching it. Your initial
Yeah.
switch thoughts when you thought
Yeah.
then is that what we're still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from launch or pre-announcement rumors to launch.
Yep.
I guess so. To the first
Anyone
trailer,
else?
I guess.
Anyone have any other initial thoughts from NX to the January presentation?
Even after January, I was like, I guess I'll buy it because again, it might be Nintendo's last, and I don't buy Nintendo stuff.
You gotta remember too, we were coming off a very bitter Wii U end there. A lot of us have been playing it a lot, playing only Splatoon for a long time.
That was we were waiting to
yeah.
see.
Didn't want the Wii
We
U
were
to
just
die,
waiting
right?
for the inevitable announcement that it was going to be killed off, and they just dragged it out.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's like everybody wanted to know when the
still
hell are
have
we
one.
going to hear about this NX thing, because everybody had like in their head that it was going to be before the end of the year. And it's just like when. And I felt like that was kind of one of the first times where Nintendo just sprang stuff on you, like, oh, by the way, tomorrow or whatever.
Well, it started with leaks, if I remember right. Like, even the presentation, if I remember correctly, was leaked first, and it's like, that isn't Nintendo style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there being
been a long
leaks, going on.
Well, I still had a backlog on Wii U, so I didn't want them to kill it yet, but it's like that with every system. So.
Well, you still got your
Can't
backlog.
imagine.
That's true.
Yeah, I can't imagine you hadn't had time
I
to get to your
boxed it.
backlog on Wii U.
Well, I mean, you still got it's
'Cause my
right.
3DS.
That's the nice thing about It's the nice thing about keeping all your old Nintendo consoles is those games aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Your batteries aren't going to die. Hopefully, your hard drive doesn't crap out on you or whatever. Because Nintendo's been notoriously bad about allowing you to back up your save data, and
But I think
still.
Eric moved on and got rid of the Wii U.
No, I still have it, but it's shell. I'm never gonna play it again though. But yeah, I still have it.
I mean, if there's no Miiverse or Wii U chat, why bother?
The funny thing is, that's what I mostly used it for, was like private messages on Miiver.
I
It's
should
the
probably,
only way you could access them.
since we're starting to get into towards like the launch, and I remember the January presentation. It's kind of what actually brought us all together, or talking about the Switches. And we're like, hey, let's watch this all together because we've been playing. Many of us have been playing for a long time together, and it was like, let's watch it together. And that's kind of how the podcast spun off from, I think. So,
yeah, probably.
But I remember watching the presentation, being in shock and awe. And I know a lot of y'all went out and bought it right then. You know, as soon as it was available, made the pre-order.
Good thing,
you had
too.
to if you wanted.
Yeah, I know. The rest
I
of
was
us,
checking before the presentation was over. Yeah.
then
And
I
they were
Yeah, I
already
remember we
there.
were all in the chat saying, "Oh, I got it on Best Buy. Oh, I got
Yeah,
it." Toys R
Nintendo
Us.
had conditioned us at that point that we knew, like, you want this, you got to get it now.
Better get it
Yeah.
now, or you may never. Yeah.
Before the presentation is over.
Yeah. Was that was during the NES Classic time too, right? Like when
That's
or we were
exactly
just
what
coming
they were-
off the NES
That was
Classic.
exactly
so-
what they were setting people up
So,
for.
yeah.
I knew it. We knew
So
that.
we were just like, we
Yeah.
may not ever be able to get another Nintendo product again. Even 3DSs, I think, were hard to find at that time.
and Amiibo. You
Yeah,
can't forget
they were.
Amiibo.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Amiibo
No,
Amiibos
it's
were
absolutely intentional marketing. Absolutely.
So
And
yeah,
we were
it's like you
aware of it at the time, and we
Yeah,
bid
you
on
knew if it
anyway.
had Nintendo's name on it, you were going to have a hard time getting it unless you secured it. I was shocked to have secured a pre-order, but yeah,
Even a red
the
blue, yeah.
January thing was kind of when, like, and I think I talked about this a little bit last week or a few weeks ago. Like October, it was just like, here's this thing, it's cool, it's concise, here's what it does, look how awesome it is. No mention of motion
You're gonna-
control.
Chat parties.
Yeah.
Like as goofy as that
They
spot
were like,
was,
count how many ice cubes. You're just like, oh, they're
I bet
doing
you
this
there's
again.
cutting room floor footage. I bet you there's
Yeah.
cutting room floor footage of that initial reveal that had
Yeah.
motion controls in it.
And someone's like,
no.
cut that
Yeah.
out, cut that out. Don't tell them yet. Let people
No,
actually
the
want
scene
it
with
for
the
a
chick
few
going on
months.
the roof is already stupid enough. Like they can't
Yeah.
take any more, or the people playing basketball under a bridge. Like, yeah, no, that, like, you know what I mean? It already
It gave them like 3
strains
months to
credibility.
get some credibility with people who were not Nintendo gamers before they dropped the Nintendo hammer on people. And we're just like, arms. Waggle, waggle, waggle.
This is not waggleware. This is
Yeah.
a legitimate competitive
That's
gaming
true.
experience.
Which, I mean, I guess it's technically not Waggle, but it's
Exactly.
Waggle 2.0. It's
No, I disagree. I will say the first part of that statement. I think it's well done motion controls. I really
Yeah.
do. The fists move great. It's, you know what I mean. And this is a thing now. Like with like everything, all this VR BS that I've been messing with lately. All these everything like the controller that comes with the little Samsung VR gear headset is a Wiimote. Exactly.
Yeah.
Modified. It's everything. The Daydream controller that comes with the Google headset is a Wiimote. Everything is a Wiimote. All
we
this
haven't
VR
seen
stuff.
a ton
all
of
VR
great use out of those yet, out of the Joy-Con
out of
yet.
that. We haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Like I've heard
I feel like
World of
arms is
Goo
kind of the
actually.
limit, maybe.
I've heard World of Goo actually uses it like a pointer controller, and I've heard it's like 1-to-1 perfect. Like you move and you point and click, and it's perfect. And I'd like to see more use of that type of thing. I think that's eventually how they're probably going to do when some Wii U stuff comes over.
I would like
they'll
to
start
see
incorporating more point and click into it.
I would like to see a legitimate, accurate shooting game that doesn't require me to have a reticle on the screen. Like, right, we haven't been able to do that since CRTs.
Yeah.
That would be nice. They could pull something like that off if they have hyper accurate.
If you calibrated it first, yeah. I guess so.
But there's also the infrared camera on the back of the Wiimote, on the back of the right one, so they could theoretically do something with that, with actual.
They need to do something with that
video capture.
They sure
what I
haven't done anything other than eating sandwiches with it.
Yeah, no, agreed.
But yeah, again, the January thing was kind of when all that stuff happened, and you're just like, oh, they're eating sandwiches, they're counting ice cubes. I don't know. Did that change anybody's feel on it at all?
Yeah, that was when I signed up.
That's when you were like, I'm in.
The moment I saw the stupid crap, that's when I started searching Best Buy's site and was like, I gotta have this thing.
Yeah.
Like I was not interested. I mean, I was gonna buy it anyway because Nintendo and whatever, but I wasn't excited about it until then.
How many people jumped on that pre-order, and then how many discussions did we have from then till the launch of? Oh, maybe
cancel my pre-order.
Cancel this thing, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I said that a lot because for me, I was the unique one that didn't have any interest in Breath of the Wild, and there wasn't a ton else out there. I was just like, I guess it's cool to have Bomberman back, and eventually they'll have something I want to play on the system.
Come on, you
but
wanted to
yeah,
milk a cow at launch, didn't you?
at launch, the only thing I bought was Bomberman.
Wait, so who
And
of
then,
us
like-
didn't? Who of us just said I'll pass at launch? Of the people on
Not
this
me.
call.
I got it day one.
I stood in line at out
Me
in the
too.
cold to get it in day one.
Yeah.
I did not pre-order.
So I think
Okay,
it's-
and we
Max
do have
didn't
other.
get
We
it
do
right
have
away,
other.
no.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, Max.
I did
Right,
not
Max
buy.
got
Yeah.
Max
her
is the
quite
odd
late.
woman out.
No, I was planning on waiting even longer, but yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, we have other friends of the cast that have that waited as well.
That were later on it.
But yeah, of those of us here, yeah, Max was the only one who did wait. We all did our midnight.
We all had that
action.
Nintendo-itis.
Or, well, not midnight,
Get
but
But
yeah, who did a midnight versus who
I don't
got
get
it the
about
next day?
Nintendo.
I
Yeah,
did a midnight.
I did a midnight Best Buy.
I got
I mean,
it the
not Best Buy,
next day.
GameStop.
Yeah, I was GameStop.
Only
too,
because my
midnight.
Best Buy didn't have a midnight event. They opened at like 10 o'clock or whatever. So
Jason, what about you?
I was at Target at like 6 a.m. standing in the
Oh.
cold.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that's almost worse than
that's
the.
because you actually had the money.
It's because I
I
didn't
was
have
like,
a
I gotta put it
pre-order.
on I gotta put it on my Best Buy card. So I'm at their mercy.
What I don't get about Nintendo is they have this artificial scarcity marketing strategy, but the
Around
point
here,
of
we call it
artificial
running
scarcity is to running scare. But the point is to drive up the price of the product. Like they don't really gouge you on
Yeah.
except maybe
They don't understand how
they
supply
don't.
and
The
demand
scalpers
works.
Yeah, apparently
I
not.
know,
The
the
scalpers
scalpers
gouge you. Nintendo makes no extra money. That's the thing. That's why this is so weird.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo makes no
I
money.
know.
They're like,
But-
we have no supply, which makes more demand. And then eventually, when we have it, we hope there's enough people left who still want it that they'll buy it.
I just
Yeah,
really hope that they just take all the scalpers for all they're worth, like on one of their products one of these days, where they just
Where they're just like, ha ha ha.
I guess hard to find
Yeah.
for like 1 week and then they just dump it everywhere.
Just be like, we've got this
Yeah.
super rare amiibo coming out. And then they're like, let's make 3 million of them.
Oh, but right, it's. I think it's a case of if they look at it at the balance sheet, it's this is money that we could make that we're not making.
Yeah.
Just count it as money spent on marketing,
Tell
basically.
you what, somebody's got a full set of those Animal Crossing amiibo that they got burned on.
I don't know
Like
what
somebody
you're talking
probably bought those day one, and we're gonna throw them up on eBay, and they're like, oh, they're everywhere.
There's so many of them. Yeah.
that. I admittedly I paid full price for more of those than I would care to
For a lot of
commit
those,
to.
yeah.
I think
See, I
you hit-
didn't because there wasn't anything to play.
Well, I didn't pay full price. I paid full price minus 20%, but still,
Yeah.
that was still too much.
Was it what 49 cents for Tom Nook on Amazon?
Yeah, it was poorly timed.
bought
They really
another
should have done that New Leaf update at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we
Definitely.
were
Yeah,
sitting
they
on
should have made a
Amiibo
badge
Festival.
for it.
Yeah.
Don't phones have
What-
NFC
what about-
functionality? Wasn't there speculation that this Pocket Cramps was going to support Amiibo?
Some
upon
of
a
some of them have that pay thing on it, don't they? Where you can like swipe your phone
Apple
or
Pay?
something.
Yeah, my phone.
Yeah, and as far as
my
I
phone has
understood, that's
NFC, yeah.
That's
a standard
NFC.
NFC reader. It could technically read an Amiibo.
Well, remember early on when Amiibo came out,
Yeah.
people were like scanning them at bus stations and things, or subway stations, getting through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And what?
What?
Oh, getting through the turnstile.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
that's right.
Wait, was that in Japan?
One I think
Or
it was
was
like
that-
in
Yeah, I think
Russia
so.
or somewhere in Europe.
Oh, Russia.
They were
There's
probably
There's Tom Nook
immediately
coming
killed.
in handy right there.
You're right.
Yeah. But I will say that January, whatever it was, presentation direct, whatever you want to call it, was, let's not forget, completely botched as far as how they pulled it off. Like, it
Yes.
kind of reminds you of why they don't do live E3 presentations anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it's
remember
super-
the,
super
awkward, and there
awkward.
was poor translations.
Yeah, remember that? Was it
Oh.
is it No More Heroes guy? I can't
Yes.
remember his
Yeah.
name. That was awful.
Travis Touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
the
kept
guy
pointing
Yeah.
at
behind that.
Siri.
And then the dude that came in from Bethesda, it sounded like they just handed him a script to read, like he hadn't
Yeah.
prepared at all.
I mean, there's and don't forget the Splatoon 2 pose
Oh yeah, that's
that we had from
that's a permanent meme that we can't
Splatoon.
see. Yeah.
2. But yeah, like I remember seeing all kinds of people on YouTube just taking clips of that whole thing, like Splatoon 2 will launch in summer.
But then,
It's just like,
admittedly, a lot of like it's like what my flight instructor used to always say: if you stick the landing, people tend to forgive you for everything else during the flight.
yeah,
And then they dropped right at the very end. They knew that, and they dropped at the very end that Zelda trailer, and that's all I remember anybody talking about the next day,
Yeah.
not the Splatoon 2 pose.
Right.
yeah, and it finally had a name, and you know, I
And this
remember
was
it being a big thing.
This was the
Or was
first
that
time
E3?
too that we saw Koizumi as a major host and
As the
Right.
front
Kimishima
guy,
was
yeah,
on the stage. If I remember,
And you
Yeah.
and a lot of the shots of him were presentational, right? You know, you could tell they were trying
Yeah.
to introduce him as the new face of
Yes.
the next
Yeah.
Nintendo console. A lot of his shots looked like the opening shots of a character on a soap opera or whatever.
Right.
Well, and Miyamoto and Aonuma were just kind of like tacked on at the end, like hanging out in a Nintendo store,
Well, they tend to just
doing their
kind of
brilliant Broadway acting.
they tend to kind of pop up like Abbott and Costello in those things anyway.
Yeah.
Just a little tidbit of info on the new game or whatever, but they don't tend to be like the presentation guys. And I think last time they were dressed as something stupid or something, right? Or
Yeah.
am I thinking of somebody else? I don't remember
Wasn't
that.
that the
I
E3
blocked that one
puppets
out
or
of my
something?
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one
I know.
E3. Yeah.
I know we've seen him dressed as Luigi before.
Yeah.
During
Year of Luigi.
Yeah. But that was it was also very much a mic drop with Kimishima at the end where he's just like, by the way, Breath of the Wild will launch
No,
on March 3rd, the same day the console does.
No, he didn't even do
And
that.
it's just
He just
yeah.
oh, we have one more thing to show you. Good night. That
Yeah.
was how he did it. It was
I
great.
thought he said it, but that was like
No.
kind of the oh shit moment. Was like you're watching this thing and it's like, oh, that's not even too far away. Like
To tell you how
that's in a couple months.
to tell you how obsessive I am, I've watched the end of that several times now, and
Yeah.
he gives the console date, like you said, my console will launch on March 3rd. Thank you for joining us, and by the way,
Yeah.
we have one more thing to show you. Good night, and then
No.
lights out, and then Zelda trailer. Yeah,
Yeah. But it was
Nice.
it was well done.
that was a big
That was
surprise
the
too.
only
Like I said,
well-done part of that.
Nintendo's big on now keeping the time frame short, where it's you see the little launch trailer, and then in January they're like, here's more information, and then 2 months later the thing's just should have been on shelves.
Well, you know what? That I think all around, simple and clean was one of their driving mottos for this whole generation in terms of their marketing, in terms of their presentation, in terms of the console itself, in terms of the OS
The UI.
interface. Exactly.
Yeah.
Simple, clean, fast, efficient was something that nobody's associated with Nintendo since ever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, the Wii U was such a major muck-up with confusion. People didn't realize that the Wii U was separate from the Wii. I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
And the second thing is
Yeah.
it was movement from Iwata era into Kimishima, who is strictly business.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing about the Wii U, aside from confusion over whether it was a new console or not, which to me, that I guess there are people out there that are that dumb.
If you're not, the thing is, the people they have to appeal to, and that's why I felt
our
like
grandparents buying it for their kids.
Yeah, you have to appeal to
Yeah.
the casual person who knows nothing about it. And like even my mom thought that it was some sort of peripheral for the Wii. Like she just thought it was like an add-on for the Wii. So
Fair
it's like
enough.
I knew a lot of
Anybody
people.
and the
that thought
thing
that.
is, Nintendo doesn't care about the people who are hardcore Nintendo. That's why they don't care about reselling us Wii U games on the Switch.
after reselling them.
If only people
US
who bought
from
the Wii U
3DS
bought the
and
Switch,
yeah.
they'd be up shit creek. Like they have to get more people to buy the Switch than people. I mean, at this point, it's pretty safe to say that although probably most Wii U owners own a Switch, there's a lot of people right now who own a Switch that didn't own a Wii U, and that's exactly what they need to happen.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, but right, it's that's what they had to do. They looked at everything else and they said,
they saw how they
where
botched it with Wii U and said, how are we going to be as clear as we
even the
can be
Wii,
this time?
even the Wii, I think, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
they look at their mistakes with the Wii as well, where the Wii, they knew they had the buzz and they're like, we want to recapture that. But I think they also understood that they have to keep it rolling because once everybody was able to actually get their hands on one and got bored of Wii Sports, they're like, okay, what the hell else do I do with this thing? And nothing.
Put it in the closet.
Dance.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where they right. I think somebody over there recognized that was their failing. That was what happened with the Wii is they had it and then they lost it as quickly as they got it.
Yeah.
Right.
They sold a ton, and they're still real proud of how many numbers they moved on that. I guess.
Yeah, but it's like, but everybody is there a gamer that you know that doesn't? I mean, not necessarily look at the console with derision, but right, all of us are like, oh, it was a good console, but we all knew at the time it wasn't HD. Come on, guys,
it's a joke.
It's a GameCube. It's literally a GameCube with motion controls. It was not. It's
two
like
GameCubes taped together was the quote from one person. Like,
which it wasn't
I
even
can't remember what
that would be
developer it
twice
was
as
that said
powerful,
that.
and it wasn't. It was from what I understood, its internals were literally, there might have been a newer version of this chip or that chip, but the internals were literally a GameCube period, as far as I understood.
And the cool stuff that people missed out on the Wii U is that it came with an HD cable, like an HDMI. They were just like, this is what it comes with. Just like with the Switch, it's like, oh, they've gotten modern.
It's got a USB-C connector. Yeah. Well, you know what? I gotta say, USB-C is still like new. That's like the new phone connector. So for Nintendo, I mean, when's Nintendo ever had a standard connector of any kind? On the Wii,
it's awesome to do that.
On the Wii, they have any. Oh, go ahead.
When have you been able just to like go to your Best Buy and buy a cable, not have to go to the game section and say, "Have you got this
I need
Nintendo
this Windows
product?"
specific cable? Yeah.
But for you suckers out there, they will sell you the Nintendo specific ones.
Yeah,
of course. But yeah, no, it's great. Like all of a sudden, I just got a new phone. I got a Switch. These 8-bit DO controllers also are USB-C. So it's like I went overnight. I've now got a pile of these all USB-C devices. I can just convert everything over. It all works together. It's great. It's Nintendo. It's so weird still after almost a year for Nintendo to have all this modern stuff and just be a modern company. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just never. Even the NES.
32 gig though.
What?
It's a 32 gig though.
I mean, it is.
Oops.
There's concessions. No, I mean, there's concessions. There's concessions. We all know there's concessions.
Yeah.
Everything about the Switch is just barely good enough. The battery life, just barely good enough. The amount of onboard RAM, just barely good enough.
But it's a giant.
They'll fix all that with the next iteration.
They do have like a micro. Go ahead, Jason.
I was saying for Nintendo, it is a giant step to make this much progress.
Yeah. For man, one giant leap for Nintendo.
That's right.
And they do have the micro SD card, which can go up to 256, or I think it's higher now. So
that's they might have 512s and stuff out now. It's two terabytes is the theoretical limit.
Good, I guess. Well, I mean that's the theory. I don't think there are any micro SD cards currently that go up to 2.
I think there's a 512 out, if I remember correctly, but that's like just stupid expensive. But yeah, and the Switch will theoretically support up to all that. But look, I mean, they had to make concessions for what they were trying to produce, but they don't feel like concessions made because they were being cheap. Every other generation, that's what it felt like. Well, at least the last 2 generations and the 3DS, right? They felt, you know what I mean? The Wii U, it's like, oh, it's just underpowered. The Wii, it's underpowered, and it's like, I don't want an underpowered console. This isn't really underpowered. This one's close enough, and it's as powerful as it could be to be a handheld, right? You know what I mean? Like if it
Pretty
were a
much,
desktop console and it were the weakest of, or a desktop console, a regular home console and it were the weakest of the generations again, then it would be like, come on, Nintendo. But it's
It's a Dell.
It's light years
How does-
ahead
A Dell.
of their last handheld device, and it's
Yeah.
even
the
better
Switch-
than their last, TV device, which wasn't terrible. It wasn't too far
How does
behind.
the Switch hold up against like the top line cell phones or the top line tablets as far as gaming goes?
Well, there's
I don't really know.
there's gaming specific tablets with Tegra X2s
Yeah.
on them and whatever. They're just expensive as hell.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it depends on what. I mean, something at this price.
But yeah, for
there's
$300
nothing,
it's
there's nothing
pretty
comparable.
good.
to
Yeah,
$300.
that's the other thing. The price point. I remember that was kind of the what's it going to be? What are they going to try to? Because I think there was wasn't there a lot of talk around 2 or 250?
Yeah.
It was kind of, and then when they said 3, it was just like, all right.
I had assumed that it was going to be 500 just because.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Wii U was 300. What's the Wii? Yeah, the Wii U was 300 at launch, or 350.
250.
Wait,
350 for the
for the
350 for like the premium black one. Yeah.
Was it? It was 3 for the base with the 8 gigs, and it was 350.
350 for deluxe.
And then you got Nintendo Land with the deluxe and that Nintendo Deluxe membership.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that was
so
such
the 300 price
that-
point was actually a shock because you would never think that a newer console would be cheaper than a previous console.
No, they knew they were
Even
going
though
to
it's a hybrid.
because we knew because I don't know what we thought it was going to be. We knew it was officially the follow up to the Wii U because the Wii U had failed.
Yeah.
But at least based on the way they'd initially been talking about it, they were talking about it like when they very early on announced it to their investors because the investors were getting pissed about how bad the Wii U was saying, right? It first came out at an investor meeting, as I remember. And it was something just to calm investors' fears because they were beaten down.
Well, yeah, Iwata had mentioned, he's the one who had mentioned the NX, just that
and
they are working on their new system.
And the initial announcements at that time of the NX was that the handheld component was coming first.
Right.
And it would be followed by...
I don't know if that was rumor or if that was... Or if that was
well, here was the thing: it was in that era, and I guess we still are kind of in that era, right, where you had to decode everything Nintendo said.
Yeah. That was part of it too. Is people felt because there was talk at the time too of, they're going to do this NX thing, and it's going to be a handheld, but there's also going to be a home console version, and maybe you can make the two things work together.
That was one of the rumors.
From what I remember, and that was the thing, is rumors swirled, but all that was actually said is it was going to be, some plethora of devices. It was going to, somehow it was going to be, it was not going to be a single device, but that a handheld component would be coming first.
Do you think they were trying to rush it so much that at the time they thought they might not have the dock ready?
They might exactly, totally. That could have been an R&D. That could have been an R&D thing where they just didn't figure out like a smooth, efficient way
to get it on your TV
or something. Maybe they just hadn't worked out some quirk with the dock yet, and so they didn't want to really drop that yet because it was still very early on. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think at least in my mind, the 3DS came out before the Wii U, right? Even though they did drop the new 3DS,
it did 1 year,
relatively recently.
1 year.
In my mind, the 3DS was ready for a replacement. Really sooner than it was getting more dated than the Wii U was, even though the Wii U wasn't getting a lot of content and wasn't, people weren't buying it. It was still a more current system than the 3DS was. So in my mind, when the Switch came out, it was really the 3DS's replacement that was stepping in to replace the Wii U because the Wii U did so terrible. But maybe maybe this whole convergence thing was just the plan from the get-go. They talked about it really right around 3DS and Wii U launch about how they'd had to double a lot of their efforts when it could have been a lot more efficient if they'd had the same team working on both.
Yeah. And a lot of people thought they were going to not just discontinue the Wii U, but the 3DS also at launch, even though they kept saying that they're going to keep the 3DS. And I mean, its death is imminent, but they're still keeping it on.
Too much money
for
there.
now.
Install base.
Yeah.
I noticed they had some Japanese sales figures that came out this week, and I've noticed that Super Mario Odyssey is, for the week, it's outselling the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, but it's almost caught up to lifetime of the Ultra Sun and Moon. So,
wow, yeah, people hate Ultra Sun and Moon.
Well, yeah, that helps too. But I mean, in Japan, where 3DS was king for so long, they're making the Switch.
No one can probably. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that was January.
Yeah. So, people who bought Switch at launch to now, how was the comparison? Has it, was you blown away from how things have changed, or what?
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
More games.
Yeah.
Okay, right, and
There's more games. Yeah,
we'll get to the surprises and all that, but right, there's way more games than I expected, I suppose, at this point. Now, a substantial portion of them are
300. There's over 300 indie games now, right? Or 300 digital games.
Yeah,
and 290 of them are well, that's an exaggeration. Over 250 of them are things that I wouldn't download for free.
Yeah,
right.
But there's and I had mentioned, I know in the past too. It's in that January thing. Almost every single game from that, and really from E3, everything that they said was coming has come.
Just about.
There's a couple that didn't, but
there's a couple here and
there.
there.
And the ones that didn't are just really small, like indie titles and stuff. But yeah.
Well, they also dropped Prime 4,
but they said
E3,
2018. Yeah, 2018.
Yeah. They just said it's in development. But anything that they said was coming out this year came out this year.
Just about, yeah, with a couple exceptions.
For Nintendo.
They really nailed
anyway.
Yeah, they really nailed it, and they blew. I would say they blew it by not dropping ARMS. Sometime between Mario, maybe I would say between Mario and Xenoblade. I would say social, like Christmas is family time.
There really wasn't a good time for ARMS unless they had held back Mario Kart or something, because they couldn't put it out with Breath of the Wild. And they couldn't put it out when they did with Splatoon a month ago. Yeah, but I mean, there's no place it would have fit where it wouldn't have just fallen into obscurity, because that's kind of the new IP, Odd Man Out, amongst all these heavies. They should have saved it maybe for maybe October. Yeah,
if it had been new around Christmas time, they would have picked up a lot more copies, and I think they would have gotten
Odyssey came out.
A lot more couch co-op or couch action, family.
Yeah. How about like
stuff.
December?
Yeah, ARMS I think could have competed well with Xenoblade, because they're kind of Xenoblade. It's kind of
they're both niches. They're both niches, and I don't think there's much crossover in those niches.
Right. So people are also still playing Odyssey.
Yeah.
So maybe they should have just saved it for this
Instead of giving ARMS one more big push for Christmas, they decided to announce right before Christmas that they were getting no more content.
Yeah, ARMS would have been a great 2019 title. We'll get to that.
Yeah, it would have been a good. Yeah, you know what? You're right. If they had spent another year actually filling it out with more, just more to it, it's just there's not enough to the game.
But they have had almost a year. They've had what, 6 months?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's already.
What have they done? They've added alternate color spring.
Yeah. Well, no.
The thing is, in a year full of stuff to look forward to, ARMS is one that you can easily pass on because something great's around the corner.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right. And it came out. It came out immediately after Mario Kart and immediately before Splatoon. Sorry, Q.
Yeah, I was just saying, I got ARMS not right at launch, but within the first week, and it pretty much kind of tied me over till Splatoon 2, and I pretty much have not looked back on that game. Even with all these updates, I haven't looked back except for maybe twice when I've had people come over.
I've gone back in whenever they drop a new character and go mess around with it for a little bit, but like
download it.
Yeah, well, I get I would actually go in and play through with the new character just to get the little star and whatever and get some coins and yada yada. I haven't played online in forever. I guess I should a few more times before it goes away, but honestly, I bought that, and I still will continue to use it for what I bought it for. Whenever I take it over to any sort of social environment where there's a few people, it's like, here, stand here and look like an idiot for 4 minutes.
Yeah,
people
it's a
Do they
great
have
game for
that
that.
game in the demo stations?
I'm surprised. I don't think
No.
they do.
No, they don't.
See, and
That's dumb. That would be a good one. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I've said
in
it a billion times, but yeah, the fact that there's no demo in the eShop for it, and that's one of those games that it's like obviously needs all the help it can get. Why wouldn't you throw that in a demo station
They
to kind
really
of
did just.
demonstrate the motion control stuff?
You're right. They really did just leave it out to die.
And it's one of the few
I-
games that actually kind of uses the Joy Cons in a cool way too.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, everything else I've seen really. I mean, well, Breath of the Wild's aiming was good, and there's a few other things like that. But for the
Yeah.
most part, any other use of motion control is a return to Wii Waggleware, and it sucks.
Well, it's not a major feature. Like the aiming in Breath of the Wild. You don't say, oh, I'm going to buy Breath of the Wild because I can aim a bow.
But it is so awesome. Nintendo needs to market that better. Like like Splatoon and Breath of the Wild, the whole subtle aiming. It's a little less subtle, I guess, in Splatoon, but in Breath of the Wild, it's so perfect
when it's
subtly aim with that. Like
when it's just subtly merged with traditional controls as kind of an enhancement. It's
I would have loved that
beautifully
in Doom.
done.
I
Yes,
hope they patch it into Doom. That would be so great.
I wish to God that the controls for Splatoon were just like a standard part of the API for the Switch. I'm assuming it's not, but it's just like here, your control. You don't have to program anything special for this. Your controls can just automatically do this. You just plug into it. And
I mean, if you did it enough, people could say like, "I'm going to buy the Switch version because I can play it with this sweet motion control aiming." Like,
totally. Yeah. I mean, for
Call of
anybody,
Duty, like anything.
Here's the thing: for anybody who's like a Nintendo or a casual, right? Nintendo wants the hardcore gamers. That's obviously what 2017 was primarily about. Was getting real, people who consider themselves real gamers back on board with a Nintendo platform, and they succeeded, in spades on that front. But if they want to hook the casuals, I think people who don't play console shooters like me, for example. I'm kind of a weird example, but I'm coming from PCs where it's mouse and keyboard and two-stick shooter, you know what I mean? Using the second stick to aim for
motion control almost puts you on par with the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And for shortcutting what was probably going to be a much longer explanation.
I mean, because that was always the awkward thing. Like I remember playing way back in the day, like Jedi 2, Jedi Outcast, whatever on PC, and then I was like, oh, it's coming out on GameCube. And then I got it on GameCube, and I'm like, God, this sucks. Like with twin sticks.
I remember trying to play. Yeah, I remember trying to play GoldenEye with friends after having played like Wolfenstein, and I don't know if Doom was quite out yet. And I just was terrible. They were just destroying me, and it's like, fuck this two-stick crap. Like what? Oh, it wasn't even. That's right. It wasn't even sticks. It was
one stick.
The little weird D-pad thing on buttons. The C. Yeah, exactly.
The C buttons.
Well, the funny thing is, I was good at GoldenEye, and then I played Counter-Strike, and then I went back to GoldenEye. I was like, oh, this is crap.
Yeah, once you play with like a real control scheme, I don't like then console controls for a shooter become trite. And that really is a turnoff for me with Doom. I would have double dipped on Doom after having bought it on PC, and I loved it on PC. I would totally double dip for it on Switch, not at full 60, but if it had motion controls. The fact that you reported to me it does not is really
got a motion control.
Yeah, for the punch thing.
You can you can whip the controller forward for a glory kill.
It's a waggle.
Right.
It's exactly a waggle. No. If they were to patch that in, as you said, that would be an immediate purchase for me.
Yeah. That's going to be one of those missed opportunities. They're never going to do it.
48. No, I don't think they will.
But it does make Metroid Prime sound a little more enticing.
Agreed. Skyrim doesn't do it either, right, Max?
Just for your arrows.
Which is cool.
So there's some motion.
I mean that's for aiming and whatever, and
that's all you need it for, really, right?
No, because I used to be able to look around in Splatoon, just move around and. I play handheld. I play Splatoon handheld. So doing Skyrim handheld, I can't do that, and it's annoying.
That's a really good point. Just as a look function, right? I didn't even think about that, but yeah, we do that all the time in Splatoon. You combo of stick and motion, but it's right. It's really super handy for that to just be able to kind of, it just becomes very, very natural.
It just helps you whip around a little bit quicker.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and also it gives you, it gives you finer you have like more quicker control with the stick and kind of finer control with the motion, or vice versa, or whatever, right? It's you get kind of a combination of capabilities there that just one or the other wouldn't provide on its own.
Yeah.
So
aside from just faster movement.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I feel
go
we've
ahead.
drifted.
Next
get back
topic.
to where we were kind of talking about. ARMS was Nintendo's new IP for this year, which did not work out. But Nintendo also tried to launch something else this year, and that was competitive gaming, which is where we took our great Reggie quote from. The legitimate
that was with ARMS, and it almost seems like that died with ARMS, huh? As you mentioned.
I mean,
you remember that October commercial had shown, people like playing Splatoon in a stadium.
They really wanted to, they really were trying to push the esport angle, and everybody picked up on that. And then they continue. They're still putting out, they're hanging on that Versus label.
Yeah.
But the only thing that ever came out of that Versus Twitter was ARMS stuff.
Are like cult games, like they start out where there's just a bunch of people all playing this game, and they're like, "Hey, we should do competitions on this." Yeah. You don't just say like, "Hey, I'm releasing this game. It's a competition game."
Right?
It's like you don't decide what's a competitive game. It's the fans who decide what's a competitive game.
Yeah, fair enough. Like Rocket League was just a little indie darling that got huge, right? Yeah. Or PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Yeah. Or even look at the Smash series. What is it that people are playing? They're not playing.
Yeah, that's true. Nintendo didn't look at it as a competitive game when they launced it. I don't think so. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nintendo, no, they were cease and desisting people for having tournaments of Smash. and now all of a sudden, I don't know how they'd feel. Well, we'll get to that later. We know it's coming eventually. But I mean, if you're going to launch a competitive gaming Twitter account, seems like Smash would have been a good one to launch that with.
Or Mario Kart or Splatoon.
Yeah.
That's what the thing is. When they launched all the competitive stuff with ARMS, it really thought like, oh wow, okay, so what's Splatoon gonna get? Oh, a crappy phone app.
I feel like Mario Kart is too random.
Luck in it,
No, Mario Kart's not.
Although it is random, although like you'll notice that the VR, like people with high VRs tend to just win a lot. I guess because there's a lot of noobs on there.
I mean, there's people who know the shortcuts and stuff, but nothing's going to stop you from taking a blue shell up the ass.
Yeah.
But if you're good enough, you can take 3 blue shells in a row, and people still can't catch up to you.
Or you can slam on the brakes and let the guy slam on the brakes and let the other guy take it.
But the thing, right? As soon as it becomes a legitimate competitive game, it's no longer an accessible experience.
Yeah.
You know
I never really played much Smash online, but it's because I knew from going online in other games that I was going to get smashed.
You just get destroyed. Yeah.
Part of it's because it's so laggy. I think, isn't it?
That's
on
true,
Wii U.
I heard there were ups and downs for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, since we're talking about competitive gaming, and we've already mentioned that the other game Nintendo was pushing was Splatoon 2. So, I have to ask, is Splatoon 2 a success? Because I know all of us here have played Splatoon 2 at least a little bit.
It's Splatoon
300 hours or so.
Is it
we all agree, right?
2? I'm with the three right here.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a Splatoon 2. Just because look at all the Mario Karts and all the Mario parties, and there's iterations of those where there's very little or similar.
That's true.
Ahead.
To me,
where I feel like Splatoon 2 at least added some new modes. It added the new Salmon Run, new story mode.
Yeah.
You know, the new ranked mode that just came out not too long ago.
Completely new specials. Right. Subs.
They've
right
been
there.
very creative with the weapons. Yeah, and even completely new types of weapons. Shotguns were not a thing in the first game.
That's why I say the Splatoon 2, because it is not the same game at all when you're playing it. It may be, the same inklings, same kind of skin on it, but the gameplay is not the same. There's so much difference.
I disagree. I mean, there's enough difference in nuance, but the overall gameplay is still. I mean, it's still the same game,
But between Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8, like,
those are handheld to
or between Mario Kart with DS and Mario Kart 8.
Was it Mario Kart 8 or was it Mario Kart 7.5?
It was Mario Kart 8 is Mario Kart 5. Yeah, agreed.
So,
well, even though I'm saying that Splatoon is 1.5, that's not a bad thing. I mean, if they
it is, but it's my gripe.
So much, it would,
If I could log into Splatoon and immediately just go to a list of friends and say, oh, so and so's playing Grizzco, so and so's in a turf war, so and so's in ranked, and I could just go bam and send them a request, and they can either accept me or deny me, whatever. Like if you're in ranked and you're rolling and you don't want someone to come in, I get that. So, but
you might be able to with that app, but nobody really knows because nobody's spent enough time to figure out how it works.
No, because you got to go get a lobby in the game first before you use the app.
That's right. Yeah.
Complicated process. To me, that would have been Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 could have been the exact same game, but with that functionality that I could just, totally hop in with anyone at any time, even access from a friends list. To me, that's Splatoon 2. To me, that would make all these games legitimate.
You give it 5 years and they're going to get it right.
Right. They could dump every multiplayer game. Not that there were many, but they could dump every old Wii U multi-game on me, and I would be a double dipper if they would just make them all work so beautifully seamlessly.
Yeah.
That being said, I think I pretty much was a double dipper anyway. So never mind.
Mario Kart 8 took some stuff away.
They took some stuff away.
Yeah, like you could have like voice chat in the lobbies and stuff in Mario Kart 8. You could post to YouTube.
Oh, upload to YouTube, Miiverse.
Yeah,
that's true. But in
no more stamps.
We got the battle mode that's never been missing since its inception. There's never been a battle mode missing from Mario Kart, and there was just missing from Wii U. Never came. And hey, let's sell you another copy of Mario Kart with the mysteriously missing battle mode. Suddenly it reappears. Like
we would have bought it anyway.
That still kills me. That's just.
I thought they did have battle mode.
I didn't buy it anyway.
They had battle mode with no battle mode tracks. Useless.
Yeah, it was one that everyone hated.
Right. It was useless. Right. You can't do battle mode on a 2-mile long racetrack with 4 people. Right. You never see anybody.
Not my battle mode. Yeah.
Like unless you decide to turn everything. It always seemed like everyone would decide to U-turn at the same time, and you still wouldn't see anybody. It was terrible.
Well, you'd catch the one idiot who wasn't fast enough to think to turn around.
So we're so
easy meat.
Jason, keep us on track and keep us moving.
Yep. Splatoon 2. You know what? It's a damn fine game. It's 1.5 or 2. I'm satisfied. They did enough with it, obviously, that from someone who wasn't going to buy it at all, I've got 350 hours into it. So
yeah, that was the last game I was able to put a solid chunk of time into before the baby. Now I have no time.
Well, we've kind of worked our way into the next topic, and that is, do the ports for the Switch? Yeah, Splatoon 2. Do the ports for the Switch work? And I'm not talking about Mario Kart. I'm talking about the other ports that we've more recently got, like L.A. Noire and Doom. They all have.
I think that's a
third-party port.
That's pretty much a resounding yes. I think, right?
Yeah.
I think there were no big. Well, no, there were a few of the sports games. The wrestling, the WWE game is apparently still a disaster.
Yeah.
And NBA 2K had
2K18
problems when it came out. I
think
anything
from 2K games is not been received well so far.
Okay, let's talk. Okay, talking about ports, it seems like Panic Button is like those are the guys to watch. Yeah,
they did Rocket League, they did Doom.
They're going to be doing Wolfenstein. They got a lot of buzz for being able to pull off both of those games as beautifully as they did. You played them both, Mo, and you can give them both a hearty thumbs up, right?
For the most part, like Doom still has some little issues. Oh God, it's catching up with Splatoon 2 now. That was a brand new thing for me to fall in love with. That
do you have something to compare it to though? Like, do you from your perspective?
I mean, the big thing, like I said, with me is it kind of scratches the sports itch that I've always had but haven't really had. Oh no, I mean it looks fine. And that's the thing is Rocket League's not the most amazing graphical game to begin with on anything.
And it's right in Nintendo's wheelhouse.
It doesn't have to be,
guys, because it's all about the physics and the gameplay and just the mechanics.
It's not beautiful worlds. There's not water with different reflections and textures and stuff. I mean, you've got grass, you've got a ball, you've got some cars. Yeah,
and it
looks fine. Max is probably a good one to ask, being that she's played a billion versions of
Skyrim.
Only 3.
How would you say it holds up? How would you say Switch compares?
Yeah, it holds up really good.
So you're playing it now. I mean, have you sat them side by side? I noticed one of our friends. I see her on her Switch and on Steam in Skyrim at the same time, and I'm certain she's like got them side by side and comparing them.
I have not done that.
So, but just from your perspective, like you dropping into Skyrim on the Switch, having played, what did you play it on last?
PS3.
How long ago?
Probably about a year was the last time I played it.
Oh, okay. So you it's one of those things, like a lot of people do that with Skyrim. One of those things you go back to all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So then this one's got to look better than the PS3 then, presumably.
Yeah, or it's really close.
Or at least the same.
It's not worse.
The comparisons, that's the comparisons I've seen with the PS3 is it's got some benefits over the PS3. Right, because when you're running and they mentioned like pop-ins are way worse in handheld mode because the processor's a little gimped. But yeah, from what I understood, it does some things better than the PS3. It does some things worse than the PS3. Overall, it's supposed to look a little better than the PS3, from what I understand.
It's still very funny to me that they're like, we're going to release Doom on Switch and on VR. We're going to release Skyrim on the Switch and on VR.
Yeah, that is a weird pairing. Doom VR supposedly, at least the PSVR version, was a disaster. Apparently,
really?
The Vive version is supposed to be really good. So just random, since I'm digging through the VR news all the time these days.
Yeah,
if anybody's.
I think so. Well, I don't know how LA Noire is doing. I know it's on. Was it on?
But you guys saw the LA Noire VR video, right? With the hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw a clip of that. Yeah.
Did you guys miss that?
I saw that clip. Yeah, the GIF,
right?
Or the.
It's a video. It was a little YouTube video of a dude just running around in the LA Noire VR world, and you got the two controllers, one for each hand, right? So he was you could do all sorts of stuff with him. He was picking people's noses and slapping people on the head and doing all sorts of just weird, hysterically funny stuff.
Touching his shoulder like a pimp.
Yeah, just all shortcut into a video. It was just had me in tears for a couple minutes, as some of those internet videos can, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I think it's like I said, it's been a nice breath of fresh air to see third parties back, and even if it's all ports of games that are at least a year old, I'm fine with that. I would like to see more.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
What's it been, like 18 years since Doom was on a Nintendo console? Something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I'll take a GTA collection.
Yeah.
If they want to put out, like we didn't have GTA 3 or GTA 4, especially 4 and 5. And,
5. Did 5?
I think that stuff's coming.
Both generations. Didn't
I
5
believe
come
so.
out on
Yeah, because
PS3?
it was right on the it was right on the cusp. I think of the PS3,
So that's
PS4.
to me that's an instant.
So, yeah.
That's something that that's something that they're waiting to drop for like next Christmas or something.
Yeah. Hopefully they weren't waiting for a 64 gig card.
Maybe.
We
So
might get there.
before we leave the Switch altogether here, I have one last question to ask, and that is, knowing now, if you could know now or know then what you know now about the Switch, would you have still bought it at launch or whenever you did?
Yeah, I'd still buy it at launch.
I think that's a pretty.
I mean, still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a good system.
I mean, the answer is
was-
Breath of the Wild. I mean,
It's true.
Yeah, that's true.
that's
yeah, you want
everybody.
to play Breath
Although,
of the
like,
Wild.
you know, Jason
for
really.
Max, it was Splatoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was playing Splatoon. They
No,
couldn't handle it.
Skyrim.
But Jason bought
Oh,
Breath of the
Splatoon,
Wild
okay.
and the Switch on launch and played it,
And
finished
didn't play
it,
it?
and then no, he played it, and then the system sat and collected dust until Splatoon 2 came out.
Splatoon 2 came out. Yeah.
See, that's why I
yeah.
wish I'd have waited. In a way, I wish I could have waited until the Splatoon 2 Special Edition, which is what I would have wanted. But then it was so long after Splatoon 2 was released, I would have been in tears wanting to play. So,
yeah, you'd think of all those outfits you missed.
I know. That's right.
But plus, if you had bought it,
Amazon UK, I'm pretty sure for basically retail, if you really want them. Sorry, go ahead.
Would you want to have Breath of the Wild and Splatoon 2 fighting for your time though?
If I hadn't have bought the Switch at launch, I would have bought the
Wii
Wii U version. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You had that option, unlike so many other people out in the world.
And there's a part of me that does kind of wish that I'd gotten the Wii U version and like actually gotten a little more play out of that system before I kicked it off into the sunset. But
yeah.
The only thing I like about the Wii U version is it had Miiverse. I miss the Miiverse functionality.
I miss the Miiverse penises.
That's the only one, yeah.
Yeah.
The last day of Miiverse, I will never forget that.
But now you've got Twitter and bots that will retweet all of your Miiverse posts.
That's right.
They retweeted my Breath of the Wild.
But I don't think anybody's got any regrets of getting it when they got it.
All right.
No buyer's remorse.
No.
And the next topic, moving on, of course, is the 3DS. Is 2017 the end of the 3DS?
Now it'll still be here for at least like a couple more days into 2018.
No, I think 2016 was the last year.
Yeah, right. There's nothing.
Kirby's coming in 2018.
There's nothing big coming for a 3DS.
Nothing big. Right? No, there's nothing big, but there's some stuff coming out.
Nothing big.
Yeah, there's
was there anything this year that was a legitimate title?
Metroid, yeah.
Metroid. Pokemon.
I would say Miitopia, but that's just me.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't think we'll see another Pokemon on 3DS. You guys all agree?
Yeah, well, we've got the one coming on Switch.
No.
Yeah.
That's officially unofficial.
And yeah, but that's when the 3DS is officially dead. But I think they'll continue trickling out some stuff for it. I'm sure Nintendo's got a few things that are just in extra long development.
I don't think Nintendo has anything for it.
But you don't think so?
I don't think so. I think the only thing it's going to be is shovelware. Yeah, I think it's going to be shovelware on the eShop here and there.
We'll see. I could still see it being around next holiday. I don't think they're going to move any of them. But I mean,
it'll be around. The DS hung around a long time. Nintendo.
But I don't feel like there's any new experience that's going to blow my mind on 3DS.
I wouldn't be surprised if they throw another remake kind of deal, like Mario and Luigi at some point next year.
Like a DS remake.
Something like that.
That being said, like those of us with kids, not that mine's old enough, but I could see people still giving their kid a 3DS. It's a huge library of games.
It's got an awesome library, and that's not going away. Like there's, especially with the eShop stuff, even if they're not making the game, you could still have a way to get it. There's still got a bunch of Marios. It's got the Nintendo titles.
It's got a whole
family-friendly and fun.
It has Virtual Console that's still missing on the Switch, of course.
Yeah.
It's got a good selection of Virtual Console titles. Oh, and those Sega 3D classics. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I need to get more of those
this time next year
before they shut down the eShop.
It does.
No, I could see it.
Still it does have the OG like Game Boy games, which I don't think you can get on Virtual Console anywhere.
Yeah, that's the point. That's true.
And Game Gear.
It's really neat that you can get the original black and white Game Boy games on it. That when I first got my 3DS, that like the first thing I did was hop on because I got it late enough that they had just dropped the Virtual Console. The first thing I did was pick up a couple black and white Game Boy games just because it was so cool to do that.
I bought Tetris.
Yeah, I got Tetris before they pulled it. They need to dig into that back catalog. I know that's going to be a big announcement for 2018, but it's like, okay, like remember the Wii U? People waited like 6 months for info about the Virtual Console, and we were beaten down the door, right? And to tide us over, they gave us the 30-cent games for the first 6 months.
Right.
Right.
What the hell, dude? It's been 9 months now. It's coming up. It's going to be coming up on a year, and we got nothing. We got Versus Super Mario Brothers put out by some entirely other company that puts out arcade ports. So it's not, you know what I mean? This is not Nintendo's Virtual Console.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to eat into your sales of the Super NES Classic.
Right. Right.
Who knows? Who knows what's going on with that?
We've been dodging news mostly for this broadcast. This was just trying to save it, but there was a bit of news related to this that in Europe, I believe they have discontinued the production of the 3DS.
Right. Yeah, the XL. Yeah, they still have the 2DS and the 2DS X. Well, I guess the regular 3DS is already dead. So
that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, there's not going to be a 3D version anymore. 2DS is king moving forward, which I'm sure will probably be the same. And we're just getting the news from Europe, but I'm sure it's going to be the same everywhere.
I would assume as well.
Yeah, this holiday might be the last we see the 3D.
So, and we kind of saw that coming even when I remember when the Pikmin game came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, it's kind of funny that they're demoing that game in the stores because that's a game that has no 3D features at all. So I'm like, they've got a non-3D game in the demo station. That can't be a good sign for the 3D.
Yeah,
I knew when the Pokemon came out with partial 3D. It was dying. Remember, it was X and Y came out with only partial.
Only during
And I was like,
that came out in what 2013, 2012, 20.
No, 20. The 3DS had been out, I think, 2 years at least.
I want to say like 2014, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
13 maybe.
We'll go with that. But yeah, 3D's been hit and miss on when and how much they use it. But
to me that was the best part of the 3DS was the 3D part. But a lot of people just don't play it with the 3D.
I totally agree.
Of a 2DS.
Yeah, but I'm the same way. It's like I don't play it. I don't play like fully slider up like Z does all the time. But I still like having the feature.
I keep it cranked up 100% of the time.
Yeah,
all the way.
Me too.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, I like having the feature there. I mainly just turn it on. It's like, oh, that looks kind of cool. All right, I'll turn it back off and actually play the game now.
That's kind of how I do.
But
I do miss it. Plus, there was something neat about having a cheap way to take 3D photos, even if they are the worst quality in the world.
And video.
And video.
And video.
I mean, it was a good novelty for the first couple of months. I mean, I got some use out of doing that.
My wife totally took pictures on hers. I got her one for Christmas one year, and my wife is just enough of a dork that it was before we were married. She's just enough of a dork that it went over really well. But yeah, she went on vacation with her family and totally was using it to take pictures the whole time. And I have, I have some crappy old back when 3D was a thing. I picked up, or after it was already dying with the TVs and the monitors. I picked up a cheap 3D monitor so I can actually view the photos. I can download from the 3DS and view the photos on it. They're not terrible. You know what I mean? Once you get them on, once you get them into a different format where you can view them on like a regular 3D screen, bigger, they're not bad. They're decent. They're small. They're little small low res, but they're decent quality for a kid, and it's daytime photography, like outdoors in sunlight. They're great pictures.
I wonder if it's just getting too hard to convince manufacturers to continue making that specific custom 3D panel.
Absolutely.
That's needed for it.
No, absolutely.
And if it's worth it for them. And like I said, I remember when the 2DS XL was coming out, we kind of talked about like, man, those price points are really close.
I gotta imagine they're selling. I don't know. I gotta imagine I don't know what the numbers are. We'd have to look. They put them out for Japan. The 2D versus 3D versions.
I would want the 3D version, but I also know that you see a lot more 2DSs on the shelf, so that's what's there.
To me,
it's just weird because they branded the whole thing as a 3DS, and now it's like they're trying to unbrand it and make it the 2DS brand.
That was everywhere at the time, right? They were on the 3D bandwagon with the TV makers and the computer monitor makers and the movie theaters. Everybody was pushing 3D as hard as they could, and they got on the bandwagon. And again, for me, I was sold. I was one of those people.
We're going to change the packaging on the games to say only for 2DS XL.
Yeah, I know. Now it's 3DS family of systems.
That'd be hilarious.
Yes, isn't even being produced anymore. What's the point? But
but there's nothing new coming out anyway.
There were two 3D phones that came out right at the same time that the 3DS did, and they were I saw one of them in action, and that was what sold me. That was when I immediately said, "Oh, if that's
I had a
what
friend
the
who had
3DS
one of those.
looks like." I had totally blown off the 3DS. I don't know why. I just was kind of in a screw Nintendo mode. And at that time, which I get into on semi-regularly, right? Because we all do. So I blew off the 3DS at first, but when I saw one of the phones, then I was like, huh. So then I went over to a Best Buy or a Target. I think it was a Target, and started playing with it. I was like, oh yeah, no, this looks pretty good. All right. And that was what sold me.
I remember being excited to look at it.
Star Fox was Super Mario 3D Land was coming out.
Beautiful.
I need to pick up Star Fox before it becomes one of those rare things that you can't get anymore. I need to get it cheap.
I think it already is as far as a physical version.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It was on sale in the eShop. It might still be.
It's not now. It was $20, and I should have picked it up.
Yeah.
And I should have picked it up when the Selects came out for $20, and I just, I already had a big enough backlog.
There are two 3DS games published by Nintendo coming out in January. One is Kirby Battle Royale, and the other one is Pokemon Crystal Version.
Well, that's something Q will be excited because Q's into Kirby.
Yeah,
so he's looking
not too big into
Vision.
Crystal Version. I'm sorry, I said Vision version.
Yeah, the re-release of Crystal.
Well, those are just the original. Yeah, the original Pokemon don't really count. Yeah. But sorry, Cordy, you were go ahead because I think I was on board with what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on the Kirby deal. I'm kind of looking forward to that game. I'm into the Kirby games. I'm not too big into some of the spin-offs, and this kind of falls between.
You gotta get sick of them throwing Kirby on. I feel like that's like their IP when they don't know what to do with a game. They're just like, let's just make it a Kirby game. Because
is that the Kirby they were talking about in E3?
I think so.
So yeah, there's two. There's a Kirby on the Switch, and then there's a Kirby. There's this Kirby Battle Royale or whatever.
There's already a Kirby on the Switch?
There's one coming.
There's one coming.
Oh, one coming
year at some point.
We imagine.
Do they have a name for it yet or no?
Kirby. Just like the Yoshi game is called Yoshi.
Yeah.
Right now, anyway. But yeah. Bring me Epic Yarn too.
So we've talked about Switch.
No.
We've talked about 3DS and 2DS. What's left is, of course, mobile. And it's been a pretty big year for Nintendo and mobile. It's the first anniversary for Miitomo and Super Mario Run. And then we've had 2 new games, which is Fire Emblem Heroes and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Plus probably some Pokemon spin-off games, if we dare mention
Magikarp.
Yes. I know me and Max got some time into that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's the Magikarp one called?
Magikarp Jump.
Okay.
You want to guess what the game was
Run
about?
and Magikarp Jump.
About Magikarp jumping.
Catching.
No.
Jumping.
It was literally about Magikarp jumping.
Yeah, I feel like they're obviously doing decent as far as money wise of bringing in some extra revenue. I don't know that it's ever going to necessarily be like an actual solid third pillar like they kind of want it to be.
I hope it doesn't become that.
But they're making some money off of it, but I feel like, I guess that's probably the thing with most mobile games is it gets a lot of play at first and then it dies off.
Why don't they put Badge Arcade on a mobile?
Badge Arcade?
Phone.
How would that work on your phone?
Because then you can use the
so you can put icons on your phone.
Yeah.
Well, they do have those little which I'm not an Apple user, so I don't have an iPhone like a couple of the other people here tonight, but I know that they were doing whatever those little sticker things are, and I don't know how those work, but they seem like badges.
iMessage stickers. Is that what you're talking about?
Is it just for texting?
You know what? They've had tie-ins with Line Messenger as well. I remember a while back during the first Splatoon.
They have Line
They're still
stickers
doing it
for Nintendo.
You're gonna have to get an iPhone again.
No, you have Line on Android too.
Yeah, they just updated them. This week with something? New Year's.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. I feel like
there was New Year's stickers from somewhere.
Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not ever super hyped. Like I always want to be for their mobile stuff, but none of it ever hooks me in any kind of way.
The mobile.
Go ahead, Q.
I was just gonna say, the mobile stuff. It is. I'm kind of like Mo on that, where it's like I want to be excited, but I just can't get excited about it. And it's weird because that's like where I work, and that's my careers in like mobile development. Maybe that's part of it too. Is that's what I make a living on. So I get just tired of all that stuff, maybe. But yeah,
I feel like of our group, Fire Emblem took off or was the best received as far as being a game.
That is the only Nintendo mobile game that really took off for me. That and Pokemon Go for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
That was 2016. So yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes, I'll give a thumbs up. Pokemon Go, I'll give a slight thumbs up, and everything else is kind of just try it, delete it.
Yeah,
I think Max is still trying to carry on the Pocket Camp thing, but I think it's dead for everyone else.
Yeah, it's dead for me too.
Now that you got
Did you delete it off your phone, Jason?
I did. I deleted it before the last podcast, I believe.
Yeah.
I better do that too then.
You might as well. You haven't been on in like 30 days, Eric.
Oh no! Wait! I can still link it to Facebook and Twitter and get
some
couple hundred. How many platinum points? Yeah.
But to me, it's been
those wallpapers.
Jason, you said you play Mario Run every day for the platinum points. What do you have to do, and how many do they give you?
Well, there's a feature called Toad Rally, and basically you play one level, and it's comparing your score to another person's score who has played the game. And if you beat them, then you get. If you beat 3 people in a week, you get, I think, 50 platinum points. And if you play it every day, you get 10. It just takes it takes you like 2 minutes. So
either play that or you buy a box of cereal.
Right.
Post cereal.
Right. You could get the same effect from that. That's a very good point. But I mean, it's not terrible to play.
It's just the same thing. You don't have the full version, right? So
no, nor will I pay for the full version.
Yeah. My daughter just discovered Super Mario Run on my phone.
Where Nintendo's missing the boat, I think, is mobile VR, right? Since that's what I've got a bug up my ass for lately. But if they wanted to dip their toe in VR, that would be the safest place to do it for them. Doesn't sound like that's what they would do, but if they were ever to produce a VR app, I would assume that's what they would produce first, not anything on their own.
Aside from like a Metroid Prime, though, I can't really see too many of their
make it a Kirby game.
Yeah, their whole thing is a cute character that you can see for the most part.
So I like that Kirby was brought up because there was that I don't know if you guys caught that like UFO game that came out on mobile in Japan.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's by I think the by HAL Labs that did Kirby and Box Boy, and that game actually kind of looked fun, like a actual decent mobile game that you just mess around with.
Are you talking about
Box Boy
like
needs to come to Switch, by the way.
Was it called like Denpai or something, or
it was called like
they had a demo of it, right?
Yeah, I don't remember
what
it was
like a
called.
light RPG.
No, it's like a it's like a crane game kind of thing where you have to like.
Oh, okay.
Stay away, Eric.
That's right up your alley, man.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool, and it's by HAL that does Box Boy and Kirby. But yeah, those are the kind of things I would expect more as like mobile games that would really catch on, just real light things like that.
Yeah, Box Boy, I really love that game, man. That might be a good mobile game.
Yeah, Box Boy is a great game, and I would agree that would make a great mobile outing.
There has been a common thread, though, going through all of Nintendo's games, from Miitomo to Mario Run, the Fire Emblem, and Pocket Camp. They want you to log in daily, and they put all these requirements and a plethora of events that just come one after another to keep you playing all the time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, if there was a reason beyond that to do it, the thing that ties a lot of this together is the only reason we would go in daily is because there's some stupid points that they're going to give us, which we're never going to really use for anything we care about.
Right.
But we're not going in to play the game. We're going in to get the points that nobody else cares about. So most people are going to just delete the game. Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't even. It's very tough to hook me on the come back and get this daily kind of thing. I have to actually like the game. Like Fire Emblem.
Miitomo was the first time I had that experience where I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. Like there was just a day when it hit, and I was like, it's not even worth it for the points. Like I'm just done.
I still play Miitomo almost every day, but it's not because I'm hooked. I just do it for the points. I mean, it's all right, but
it's fun.
Definitely
not
hooked
social interaction too.
Miitomo.
Yeah, it's the most social of the games.
But I mean,
I just got tired of hearing people's favorite food over and over again.
Yeah, being asked the same question.
Yeah, it's like people just want to answer the question for the point, so they'll be like answer this existential question. And
Z's friend had always had the best, where his answer is just like no to everything. It's like, what's your favorite food? No.
No.
It's like he's just.
By the way, that
the funny thing is they. Go ahead, Q.
I was just gonna say. By the way, I did quick search. The UFO game is called Hataraku UFO. So, one chance to check that out.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Find some videos on it, and it's something that is up at least my alley, and I've been kind of keeping an eye on it, hoping they release it here, but no news on that yet.
Yeah, I don't really fully understand how, because I know they work on a lot of stuff with Nintendo, but they're not technically a Nintendo company, or Nintendo doesn't technically own them, right?
Nintendo might hold a share or something, like have some shit, like some percentage stake in them, but I would consider them like a second party company, party, because I don't know if they do anything for other company. Right.
Yeah. That's second party. I was always wondering what second party was.
We've needed you in many discussions before. When
I feel like they're on retainer. Yeah, I don't know if they're actually owned by or how that works, but I never really hear about them other than the Nintendo games.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think they, at least for many years, I don't think they've made anything for other systems other than Nintendo and now mobile.
I don't know. I also feel like there's not a lot of other places Nintendo can go with mobile, and that eventually we're just going to start seeing all these other diarrhea games like they do with the Kirby's, where they just are like, let's just make some kind of cheap game and we'll just throw one of our IPs on top of it.
Well, if I remember
Animal Crossing.
I mean, right now they've kind of kept some of the essence of what those games were to some degree, like Mario Run. Like it's kind of a Mario game, Animal Crossing, kind of an Animal Crossing game. But I think at some point it's just going to be, Mario Bejeweled or.
But do we even know what's coming next?
Dr. Mario Mobile would
No.
work.
No, we
Why
don't.
have they not
They've been mum on that.
Because I thought.
They haven't
If I remember correctly, Animal Crossing was kind of like the next big
last
thing.
There was a rumor.
Chain.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that they were going to do a Zelda one that had people talking, but you never heard anything.
Pretty quick though. Did Nintendo deny that or something? I think it was something else. Or just was never.
I think it just turned out to be nothing, but that had people talking like, what the hell are they going to do with that? But Dr. Mario seems like a shoe-in if they can find a way to monetize it.
Yeah, I'm not a big Dr. Mario guy, but I'd play that on mobile. I'd mess around with that.
Yeah, I played that would be a good mobile game actually.
Yeah, I'd play that.
Because it's actually suited for the screen, the top-down screen right there.
And especially if you could play with other people, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
Challenge your friends in Virus Run or Virus Rally. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not super pumped on it. Like I said, I think Nintendo said that they kind of look at mobile as just more of an advertisement for their brand to re-engage people who may not be. But I mean, anyone who played Pocket Camp and that was their only experience, I don't know if they're like, oh, I really got to go out and get more of this. But who knows?
Yeah, if anything, it just made me want a legitimate Animal Crossing even more because I didn't care for how that was set up.
Well, I feel they've missed an opportunity that they should be releasing these mobile games at the same time as a main line game and maybe even have some sort of connectivity to them.
Right.
It's like
I would have thought that they would have had some sort of tie-in with New Leaf if they would have released it
I was
earlier.
expecting it. Yeah, I thought either like a QR code or
even some exclusive items that you could translate over or something.
Yeah. Somehow.
Some characters or something.
Nope. There's no reason for anyone to play that game anymore. I don't even care what their New Year bonuses are.
Yeah, but the good thing about the mobile games is they don't really hook you, so you don't spend too much money on them. Because I know I haven't spent money on any of them except I think Miitomo. I bought $1 worth of coins one time just because I would never use my Google account
testing that credit card,
do an in-game transaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been a lot of money dumped out on these mobile games. I mean, especially early on. I know Fire Emblem Heroes there's still a lot of people dumping.
Yeah, that one's still kicking.
Yeah, I think they're paying for themselves, so that's all they really need to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Hopefully there'll be no more.
So I think it's time for us to move into our next section. This is a new section for us. It's Best and Worst 2017. So let's go and pose some general questions here. First one is the best Nintendo experience of 2017. Not necessarily a game experience, but just as a Nintendo in general.
Having no problem pre-ordering a Switch.
Although you might be in a minority, not in this group, but
yeah, you were in the minority.
No,
it's the people who woke up the next morning.
Yeah, just I mean, I knew I was going to buy it anyway and whatever, so I immediately jumped on and hey, there seems like there's no problem. I pre-ordered one. I went to bed happy. And then I, saw the news stories the next day about how nobody could get one. It was like, it was easy for me.
Yeah, I even had a color choice.
That's really the only thing from
Yeah, me too.
that was that way for the rest of the year, actually.
Yeah.
Right? Aside from games.
My best experience of 2017 was a game experience, which was, of course, Breath of the Wild. Even though I didn't finish it, but my sister did. So that
you
was
loved
fun.
watching her play it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's as far as a game experience, yeah, that definitely is the experience, maybe even of 5 years or even a decade. But I also enjoyed
a long time, since a game that good came along.
I enjoyed the experience of hearing other people in the coworkers and things like that talking about like hearing people talk about Nintendo that weren't me. Like I actually heard people saying things and showing interest in Nintendo, and I was like, wow, look at this. Because this whole year I've been real lukewarm on the Switch. Like, I like it. It's fine. But like, to me, it's somehow still not a grand slam. And I hear other people talk about it, and they're just like, man, this thing looks really awesome. So it's captured the imagination, and that was
marketing. Cool. Marketing is a powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see that, because the more people come to it, the more developers will come to it, and it's good for everybody.
Yep.
But yeah, but Breath of the Wild, come on.
Yeah, I think I'll just jump in and say my big moment was Breath of the Wild 2. I know it's kind of cliche, but I mean it won Game of the Year awards for a reason. So it's definitely a great game, and definitely the most time I spent with a game, I think, since Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. So,
and
I haven't even beat Breath of the Wild yet either. I need to get back to that. I'm only about halfway through, probably.
Do you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Yes, I have Switch? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch, and yeah, I'd say Breath of the Wild is better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Nice.
Well, I think I have to say that my best experience of the year is kind of along the lines of what Mo was saying, is that it's the Switch itself. It's a legitimate console. It didn't fail.
Oh yeah,
I'm still playing.
People actually talking about it.
Yeah, it's nice that Nintendo
hasn't been too mocked.
Right. Yeah. Nintendo's still a company, and we're talking. In a little bit, we're going to start talking about 2018. We have hope for that. And that's something that, we maybe didn't have last year. We thought maybe this was the last hurrah. So, yeah.
Yeah, 2018, I'm looking forward to it, even though it's kind of a big black hole. We don't know really what's going to be coming out of it.
They've bought themselves at least one more console generation out of this.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's hope they can keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Max, do you have a favorite?
Being able to find the Switch during the summer when the stores didn't have any. But I saw one. I was like, oh, I guess I'm buying one today. And just how much I like it itself. Just holding it and stuff. I just like it.
Yeah.
Which surprises me. I didn't expect to like it so much.
I can't believe Z didn't say taking a dump while playing a Switch.
That's my favorite theme moment of the year.
Yeah.
So, this is the Nintendo Open Air podcast. So, we do, of course, have to ask the next question being, what is the worst experience of 2017 regarding Nintendo?
I would say Nintendo 1-2 Switch. You have to pay $60 for it, and they're terrible. They're terrible games. Especially the baby one. Like, you're holding a Switch.
You know what though? I bet that's the one that made me almost buy it, because I was like, my daughter would love to cradle a Nintendo Switch and rock it to sleep. But she'd probably drop it and break it, and then I'd be pissed.
I mean, $60 for 1-2 Switch is, I think, what makes it a horrible experience. There's just
should have been a pack-in.
Yeah, pack-in, or even $10, $20 kind of like eShop style thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tech demo.
I would have considered it at that point, but I'm not paying full price for milking a cow and eating a sandwich and
yeah,
taking ice
I've
cream.
still never played it. I thought about renting it.
Yeah,
just didn't.
There was a couple of sales for Black Friday where the price got close for me to
25. Yeah.
Sit and think for a second and do I really want this for when I have friends to come over? Because I do think it would be kind of funny to watch people do some of those kind of things, but it didn't push me over the edge.
I think for me, the worst part is probably just the Switch tax of just stuff being more expensive. Seeing Doom at $60 and Skyrim at $60. Seeing games, and I don't mind necessarily. I can understand a physical game that makes sense to me, like being a little bit more, but I don't like the idea of some of these games, especially the Doom was the biggest one for me when it's gotten down to $20 or $15 on all these other consoles, and being like, I know they had to put a lot of work into it to squeeze it onto the Switch, and I can respect that. 3 times the price for it just does not seem fair to me. Some of the pricing stuff I'd love to see come down, and I think it will eventually. But
didn't it always seem that when a new game was released on Switch, there was immediately a sale on another platform for that same game?
Yeah.
It's kind of rubbing it in your face.
On the flip side, though, I have seen a couple of the sales, like when Axiom Verge had went on sale. It's went on sale on Steam and some of the other stuff, and Shovel Knight, where they've gone on sale for the same price at the same time, which has kind of been nice to be included in those. But yeah, the pricing I'd like to see. I wish it was just a little lower, but I'm a cheap guy, so.
Yeah, I think for me the worst point is when we kind of I think touched on this a little earlier was just kind of the timing of arms and kind of how that flopped, because I think it would have been a very
Arms
could have been a
legs?
successful game. Yeah, I think Arms could have had legs. Yeah, it could have been a successful game if they did better marketing, better timing. Just they did so many things wrong with that, and I got the game. I thought it was a fun game, but
yeah,
it just wasn't quite as fleshed out as it should have been. And there's just a lot done wrong, and
not enough there.
Yeah, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We talked about that a lot earlier, but yeah, it's just
it's come up quite a bit on our podcast that it's like it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's as good as a lot of other Nintendo games that we've played a lot longer, and it just unfortunately hit at the wrong time in the wrong way.
The concept and the idea is there. I think it's a great concept and idea. I think just the way they went about.
If you tried to play it right now, would you have trouble finding a match, or is it that bad? Or
I don't know. I haven't played the game since Splatoon came out, single player or online. So,
see, I feel like just with Smash, like if I went into Smash Wii U right now, there's somebody waiting to kill me in it. Like, I feel like Arms is the same thing. That there's some people who that's been their game, and they've like didn't get Splatoon, didn't care about it, and they're like just been perfecting their Arms play and are just waiting online right now to kill anyone who comes. It's probably getting a little bit of an influx of. There's people who don't know what a failure it is, and bought it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of noob meat those people love.
Yep. That was me on Smash Bros. For a while.
I think the biggest disappointment there was it's a new IP, and you wonder if this failure launching this game has killed the whole thing. There's something that we maybe could have had, future games out of. That's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, like future ARMS versions or just future IP?
Well, it could be both, but future ARMS as well.
But since it's already plural, what would they call the sequel? Armses?
ARMS 2.
ARMS 2.
ARMS 1.5.
ARMS Deluxe.
ARMS
ARMS Deluxe.
Maybe ARMS at 1.5 will be.
Yep.
I think we'll see it again at some point. I'm glad that it doesn't lend itself to the 3DS.
Arms Punch Out.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is I feel like Arms kind of does run into that F-Zero territory where F-Zero like competes with Mario Kart sort of in Nintendo's mind. I think Arms and Punch Out kind of are in sort of the same space. Yeah, a little bit like where they kind of got to pick one or the other.
Well, when I first saw Arms at that January presentation, I actually thought it was like a start of a like Punch Out ad or whatever.
Yeah. I was sure that Little Mac was gonna show up there as like a robot, or something, but yeah, didn't happen.
Well, I'm gonna go a little different route here for my worst experience of the year, and I think it was
packaging,
the eShop in general, and that was from in the beginning to where Nintendo was like telling different developers, "No, you're not a system seller. You can't be on our console." And then just at some point, something changed, and now there's just huge masses of shovelware. I mean, 20-something games a week for several weeks, or around, and it's just it's garbage.
I think we all want to change our answer, Jason. Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, Q said there's like 300 mobile games out there, and Z's like, I wouldn't download 250 of them.
Right. Well, the funny thing is that Nintendo is kind of bragging about. They've been kind of bragging about that. Like, we've got 300 plus.
Yeah.
They like the whole quantity and not necessarily always quality. Like, they like to say, like, we've got this huge library of games. We've got over 300 games that you can play on the Switch. But it's like, yeah, but I can only name like a handful of them. Like, there's definitely ones that rise to the top, even without proper categorization and
yeah, that is kind of a mess.
An order on the eShop. Yeah, that could very well be one too.
For some reason, you can't take screenshots of the eShop. I guess they didn't want kids taking a screenshot of their credit card and putting it on Twitter.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple things that come up where you can't take screenshots. I'm always like, why?
What else besides eShop?
What if I was trying to but you can still do it with your cell phone if you really wanted to.
You can't. I don't think you can photograph the news channel.
Oh yeah, you can.
Because that's part of the eShop, though, isn't it? Or no.
No, yeah, you can because I've done it before to mock stuff on Twitter.
Oh, that's right. I remember
when they did one last week that was like, here's a guide on how to enjoy Breath of the Wild. And I was like, why do you need a guide? And it was like part 2. I was like, why do you need a 2-part guide to teach somebody how to enjoy Breath of the Wild? I'm pretty sure everybody was enjoying it just fine and without a guide. But the fact that you think it needs a guide.
Needs some more free apples.
Yeah, more free food.
Speaking of which, on a very small aside, we finally have gotten the first almost kind of useful thing. They gave you materials. They give you some ancient materials, including an ancient arrow. One ancient arrow.
That's really stepped it up.
An ancient arrow. Or maybe they just give you the materials to craft an ancient arrow. Either way, it's the most useful thing. It beats fish or
apples
or apples or nuts.
Yeah, there's one. I think they just gave you a bunch of nuts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mocked that on Twitter as well.
All right, Max. I think you're up. What's the worst experience of Nintendo experience of the year?
All the menus on the Switch, they're just so plain.
Oh,
Especially like with the Wii when they had music for everything. And just something to make it a little bit more entertaining. Yeah. That's what I expect from Nintendo, and they're not doing it.
Doesn't have that soul that
yeah.
It's very here I am. I'm the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody's worst experience was putting the Joy-Con strap on backwards.
Oh, Q liked it.
Yeah, I actually really like
Nintendo seems to like it. You know,
minimalism is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Of the Switch menus, not the eShop. I don't like how the eShop is so unusable, but Just
I
the
don't mind it.
menu.
I would like to be able to see all my games at once without having to scroll to the end of the list and open up a box. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
just
would
wish
do
there
too.
was
think
a way to
Yeah, it
to
could use some
organize it a
more
little better.
customization options
Yeah.
like that. But I just mean just kind of the look and the feel of it.
Yeah, you turn it on, you
Less of
get
the
right into the
usability.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
nice.
I don't mind that either. I don't mind the simple approach, but to me, this just feels like first, the first UI they made, and they've done nothing to it.
It
Yeah,
definitely was a
Yeah.
surprise after the Wii U.
Yeah, no themes or anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do think themes are going to come eventually.
I do too.
Eventually,
It seems natural and hopefully
Put some
Netflix.
badges on there.
Yeah. God, I wish they would let you transfer. That'd be the only way they could
won't.
justify the kind of money you put into it. Or they could just
I actually
name.
don't mind the user interface. I mean, it's too simple, but I don't really care about user
Yeah,
interface
I don't
that
hate
much
it.
anyways.
Like I mean,
All right.
most of the games, and the truth is really probably for all of us, the most of the games you play are going to be in your top 4 or 5 anyway. Because any game that you have to scroll for is one you haven't played in a while, probably.
That's true.
So it does what
I
it
kind of don't
needs to
like
do,
how
I guess.
they don't have a stylus for it, even because they have a
Yes.
keyboard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's kind of weird that they don't.
Yeah,
Would a stylus work on it, or does
You've
it have to
got
be your
10
finger? I asked this
styluses
before,
attached
but I
to your
forget.
hands. Oh.
Gotta have
You gotta
capacitive
what?
touch stylus to
Yeah,
have a
I don't
capacitive
I
touch
don't like
stylus.
the keyboard myself, and I've said that before too. Like,
No, it's
for some reason I don't
awkward.
feel like I can type. Yeah, it's like I can type better on my cell phone, and that's got a smaller keyboard. Like,
Yeah.
they maybe they could software update that keyboard and just make it a little more friendly.
Yeah, more
But I feel
predictive. I don't think they do have predictive text, right? on it?
Yeah, but they're
it's like-
horrible and they're not learning.
yeah, they're not learning. Yeah.
And there's the weird space crap where it doesn't
Oh,
put a space after. Like, I hate that.
And then if you have to move to try to delete that space.
Yeah, if you
trying to
used a
move the
prediction,
cursor is-
you got to try to move the cursor. You have to put a space in and then back up. What a bunch of shit. Yeah. But I guess that's a pretty small nitpick for a gaming system, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't like the
some of those
keyboard.
icons, man. I can't stand those icons.
Yeah.
Well, it is a nitpick, but we no
Yeah.
longer have Miiverse to share in, and Nintendo says you got to use
I miss
Twitter,
Miiverse.
That's
or
true.
Facebook. So
I should have
it
said,
needs
and
to
they
be
still haven't expanded the Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that.
The text
character
amount.
limit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
ran out of
Probably never
characters,
will.
and I was like, "Come on, get with the times." Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that for a video game company, it's going to take them a while to be like, "Oh, we should have fixed that." That's probably pretty low on their list.
the person.
Probably got
It's coming soon, along with the Switch rewards.
Yeah.
The person on
Oh,
Twitter
yeah,
posts
for a year.
all these pointless memes, these 2-year-old memes. Maybe they should focus a little bit of their time on fixing the interface to use Twitter.
If you guys are so Twitter savvy, yeah.
What's funny
Maybe
because
maybe I'll tweet at them and see what they say.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're conforming. We're getting rid of our version of Twitter called Miiverse, and we're forcing you to use Twitter and Facebook. But then they don't update the character count.
Yeah.
I think though Nintendo probably is responsible for a lot of people joining Twitter.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Who did not really use Twitter before.
Yeah.
Just like, well, I guess this is my Miiverse now.
I don't want to post those on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't either.
I posted
Sometimes
a few
I
Breath
think
of the
about
Wild
it.
things
Yeah.
to Facebook, but mostly it's the Twitter because that's where most of my gaming friends are on, anyways.
That's a good place for disposable crap
I
that
did
you're gonna look
post.
at once and never again.
I did one post for Breath of the Wild when it first came out on Facebook, but that was it, I think.
All right.
Just to brag that I had Breath of the Wild on launch day.
In their face.
That's right. You're telling them.
Booyah.
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 So, next one. Biggest surprise, 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Z, did you want to comment in on the previous topic? I think we lost Z there for a moment. So, biggest surprise of 2017.
Doom.
Biggest surprise? Oh, Doom. Yeah, that was a shock. Yeah,
That came out of
that was a
nowhere.
shock, Doom.
And that was like, holy crap, it's a big third-party game just dropped in your lap. Like, I did not see that one coming.
Well, I mean, I should have saw this coming, but for me, my biggest surprise was that Miiverse wasn't on the Switch, and then that they killed Miiverse. But I should have seen that coming. But still, it was a surprise to me.
Mine was that
Yeah.
Nintendo actually pulled it off, with the Switch.
Oh yeah.
that it doesn't suck. That it actually
Yeah.
it actually worked. Is actually popular. People really want it. I still am shocked. It's been so many years.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, my big surprise is that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 actually released this year. Because I swore up and down, they were like, this is going to be a 2017 release. And I was like, there's no way they're going to release this and Mario and Breath of the Wild all in the first year. That's not happening.
There were many a podcast when I was
right.
saying that game would be delayed.
Yeah, well,
it's like it's too big.
Right, and they said it 2017, whatever, and I was just writing it off in the back of my head. Yeah, it's going to be 2018 at least. But
And
here we are,
Xenoblade
and
Chronicles
I'm
2
playing it.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 can fit on a 32 gigabyte game card, but other games can't. I guess if they're just really massive.
Yeah, was there a
Yeah,
big
it's whatever.
download with Xenoblade, or it just fit?
Yeah, well,
it has a physical cartridge.
Yeah, I have
right,
a
or
physical.
no?
I have the physical cartridge.
It does.
Well, yeah, but when you first put it in for the first time, was there a huge download you had to do, or it was just all
there
on
was
the
there was
cartridge?
I think there was like a
little
day one update, but I think it was for the free voice pack DLC thing, where you can change the voices to Japanese.
It wasn't like a hour-long update.
No, it was like a minute
20
long.
gigabyte update.
Okay. Well, some of them, like I don't remember what. I know Doom was one where it was like 30 or 40 minutes. It seemed like.
One of them had like a 20 gigabyte download on top of the cartridge, wasn't it?
Yeah. Some of them, like I mean, the NBA game.
2K was the first one. I think put it on the box.
Oh yeah,
Had some
true.
pretty sizable.
That may require an SD card.
Eleanor might as well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to keep beating a dead horse here, but to me the biggest surprise is that ARMS was a failure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really, I mean they've got a new system, new IP. Let's roll it out here. I mean, all we had at the time was Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, and then ARMS, and then it just nothing happened.
Yeah.
To me, it was that it was set up to be such a failure, and that it failed as hard as it did. It just dropping it right where they at the timing they did, and just kind of bare bonesing everything around it, and just I don't know. It just didn't feel like there was much promotion around it. At first, before it came out, once it came out, it seemed like they took one look at the numbers and were like, "That we're leaving this to die."
And they pretty much have, since they've discontinued updates so quickly.
Yeah. Well, they put out updates, but all that stuff was obviously in the pipe before they started. So it was like they already were planning this stuff. So it's like once they got through that, no more.
Jason, you don't have ARMS though, do you?
I did not, but I did play
the
2
demo?
test bunches, I think.
Yeah, I think Z and Q are the only ones that bought on that one.
Yep.
Which I still wouldn't put. I mean, I still might pick it up eventually when it eventually becomes a failed Nintendo Select.
It's still a great party game and will continue.
It is a great party game. I have not touched single player online since Splatoon came out, but it always gets played when I have people over.
But like I said, speaking of beating a dead horse, I've said it a billion times, but the fact that which Nintendo never does with their games for some reason, does not have a demo. Like the one, if there's one game that needs a demo, it's probably that and 1-2 Switch. Like,
but with ARMS, I think Nintendo was, in the Switch commercials, they were really promoting the, competitive play, Splatoon in the stadium and everything. And then they had the huge success of Splatoon, which was the last new IP, I believe, before ARMS. Yeah. And I think they just thought they could toss it out there and everybody go, yeah, this is
That's
great.
kind of how I feel. It had a very Splatoon look and feel kind of to me, with like the real cartoony, they were like blue and yellow is the new green and pink. Like, I think they thought it was just gonna, here's something this is the Splatoon of boxing. And I think we probably even said something like that. Like, this looks like the Splatoon of boxing. Like,
I thought it was, when I first saw it, I thought, hey, this is going to be the next Splatoon. But then, they didn't show any other modes. And once I saw when the release date was going to be, I was like, I don't think this is going to really kick off like they hope it's going to.
Yeah, and it's kind of been surprising that they've not tried any kind of course correction on ARMS either. They haven't done a demo. They haven't tried cutting a price. They haven't tried to incentivize. And I even mentioned early on, no amiibo. Yeah. What the hell? When has there been a Nintendo game first party? Didn't have amiibo.
Even though they didn't do a demo, they did do the global test bunches, which was kind of like a demo. Even though
if you could get in for that hour and you happen, like, you have to. Not only does it have to fit into your life, but you have to care enough to be like, oh, I'm supposed to hop on at this time, and let me put that on my calendar. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're trying to get a new game that's kind of got a weird, quirky concept, the best way to do that is to let people engage with that game and play it and test out the mechanic, even if it's just punching a dummy or a punching bag, like something just so they can kind of get a feel for it. I think would have helped and went a long way to sell that. But seriously, those would have been perfect amiibo.
Yeah,
you could have little stretchy wire arms. Yeah, but whatever. Maybe that was just part of the rush job.
Yeah, just look at how they comparing it to Splatoon before launch. They built that game up forever, and then when the test fire did come out, everybody was on it because they already knew about it. They knew about the characters. They knew about the somewhat of the gameplay.
ARMS got its own Joy-Con. It's the only game to get its own Joy-Con, but not a bundle.
Yep. And they just been dropped.
That could have been one of their in-between bundles.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would have been a great way to sell the ARMS, is to put it in a bundle.
Yeah.
Which they probably will.
I was actually expecting them. I was actually half expecting them to do an ARMS holiday bundle just to try to promote the game. Yeah. But they
I did too.
Like Mo said, they haven't even done anything to try to push this game.
Right. Yeah. Which I feel like they're going to be left with so many extra yellow Joy-Con based on my Best Buy having like 20, that they'll eventually start throwing those into bundles.
Well, remember all those tweets they did on ARMS about this character's clothing label is this and this other character's clothing label is this? Did they ever go into more detail about that, or they just left it at that and left ARMS out to die?
I don't know if I remember the clothing label. Is that a thing?
I remember something vaguely about that, and I thought it was something promotional to start saying, hey, there's a bigger world behind, to ARMS.
Yeah,
and
I thought they were going to be some kind of backstory, or this is why she has this label, and it's because she was a slave, and I don't know.
Yeah, it
I feel like somebody gets crap at the office about ARMS, like that falls on somebody, and they're like, "Congratulations, you've given the only failure on the Switch." They just put a drawing of the word failure with two big springy arms on it up at his desk.
I wonder who the director of that was.
Yabuki, or he was the guy that was in the tournament or whatever, one of the main guys that they always show.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. We talk a lot about ARMS for a game that none of us have. It's like, ARMS, why are you such a disappointment?
It's weird too, because if I remember correctly, the main producer, director, Yabuki, or whatever his role is for ARMS, he was like a key guy for a lot of the previous Mario Kart games. So you'd think, Mario Karts have always been a hit, so you'd think he'd have experience there with making some sort of hit game, but maybe couple that with a new IP, it just didn't work out. I don't know.
I think they were just counting on the fact that there was nothing out for the Switch yet, and so it would sell. They probably felt the same way for 1-2 Switch, which I think 1-2 Switch probably did do a little better.
I think
that it was like
probably,
the tech demo launch title. Didn't fool me though.
Although I think ARMS outsold Rocket League.
I still think that those numbers are wrong. Because so Eric had posted in one of our things like that Nintendo had the top selling games for the Switch of the year.
No, Barry posted it.
Barry, okay.
He put it was on there.
But Rocket League was not on the list, and I'm like, there's no way that it's been like number 1 or 2 since it got released. But like it said, Xenoblade was on there, Xenoblade 2. I'm like, there's no way Xenoblade 2 is.
Said like some kind of.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way Xenoblade 2 has outsold Rocket League. Absolutely, it's at a $15 or $20 price point. No way.
And they even said like some cooking game outsold Rocket League.
Yep.
Well, that could be Cooking Mama or Overcooked. Which I can believe that because that's been on the bestsellers list since it came out, so I could believe that.
Okay.
But I mean, since it came out, Rocket League's been in the top 3. And that's been, for a month. I don't believe it. There's no way Xenoblade. No way.
I'd be interested to see how, at least after a few months, how ARMS will compare to Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Sales wise.
Yeah, I think that I think ARMS did better in Japan, or has been at least not as panned over there. I know there's like cosplay and stuff of ARMS over there. So
I think ARMS was definitely a bigger hit in Japan.
But numbers, it's hard to say because Xenoblade's one that you feel like they did throw a lot behind where they were trying to promote Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, they spent like 45 minutes.
Pro controller.
Direct.
Wow.
Yeah.
E3, golly.
Yeah.
Half of E3.
Yeah. I loved that E3.
Well, and that direct.
Most people probably were sleeping during that.
I was.
They were typing ZZZ.
Yeah, I think I just like typed pass.
But that's still more.
I had Xenoblade.
It's
one of those games that I will never play, but I fully respect because I know that the people who are into it love that series. Just like with Fire Emblem, like I don't play Fire Emblem, but I can respect it because I know that there's people who legitimately love it and it's got something in it. Just like with certain bands where it's like, I don't really care for the Rolling Stones, but there's enough people that say it's their favorite band or a great band that I can be like, okay, it must be a great band because so many people love it.
Yeah,
I respect it even if I don't love it.
It's something that's like it's not for you, but you can respect it kind of deal.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I had Xenoblade Chronicles for Wii U, and I got through the first few parts. I just never finished it. Kind of dropped off.
Maybe you should get the 3DS version.
Oh yeah, I heard that's really good actually.
That's the Wii one that's the one that I think made everybody fall in love with Xenoblade, right?
The original one was because it was one of those Project Rainfall games that everyone wanted to get translated from Japan.
And then it was rare, so it was expensive.
It was a GameStop exclusive.
Which they made more of. Yeah, you can use your coins. Pick it up. It's hot.
Max, do you have a big surprise from this year that you would like to?
Cereal. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, that's a really good point.
You're expecting you're expecting not to be able to find any?
I wasn't expecting her to beat. for them to make a Mario cereal.
Yeah, that's really weird.
It just really surprised me.
Yeah.
It really felt like Nintendo mocking itself somehow.
I know.
Yeah. Which there has, I guess, since it's been brought up, should we mention there has been an awakening?
There was something inside of Walmart, and now it is awakened.
Yeah. So
I guess I was the first one that
after-
probably saw it. I went
after
to
weeks of complaining, yeah.
after weeks of hunting, and I went to a particular Walmart and I found the 10 boxes that every other store had. Of course, I bought 2 or 3 and took them home. And then I went back the day after Christmas, and sure enough, there was an end cap with 45 more boxes of the Super Mario cereal with Amiibo on it.
Well, I think it's awesome. Did you actually count?
I did. I counted everyone on the shelf because I knew it was coming from the podcast. I did my
Why
research.
isn't that stock boy wearing a uniform?
I mean, it was like I spent 20 minutes counting it and expecting it.
Yeah. No, and I was able also to go to my local Walmart and find some boxes as well. So we have tasted the cereal. I can confirm it is Lucky Charms.
I actually opened it.
I listened to the podcast 2 weeks ago, and it was funny because Z was like, "This doesn't exist." I'm convinced that it doesn't exist. And then,
it's
like, when the
podcast,
cereal.
He's still salty about it because he hasn't gotten his hands on a box yet.
Yeah. The funny thing is, he said that on Tuesday night, and then we released the podcast Thursday, and I think somebody had gotten it by then, or
yeah, I think that's when I found it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
It's like, but it was true up to that point, and still probably I haven't been obviously looking now. I don't care. I got mines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's been still way too hard to find for a box of cereal.
Yeah.
I haven't even. I know it's out, but I just don't care.
Don't
at
bother.
all enough. Yeah, even if I see one, I'm not gonna buy it. I don't like cereal.
Want the Amiibo box?
No,
Oh yeah,
I don't even know.
cereal.
This isn't just cereal. This is a collector's item.
I actually don't even know what the Amiibo does. Like I don't
Well,
know.
Pretty much
good because it does absolutely nothing.
It gives you a moon or something.
It scans as a generic amiibo. It tells you it's a delicious amiibo on screen. It says you've got a delicious amiibo, and it just points to a location on the map where you can find a moon like any other non-Mario amiibo does in Odyssey.
Can you use it like on that one game they have where you can scan any amiibo and you get to play a little clip of
Oh, I haven't tested it on the Wii U.
Probably it doesn't work.
Probably. I bet it does. I don't know. Yeah. I guess they'd probably have to do an update for that. Because I did try it in Breath of the Wild. I was really hoping.
Well, what does it say in Breath of the Wild? Doesn't recognize it?
No, it just drops whatever, some raw meat.
Oh, it should have dropped at least some like honey and nuts or something. Yeah, something.
Some cane sugar.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well,
sugar and milk.
General Milk.
Utopia has a feature where you go to this one character, and any amiibo you scan, they'll give you 3 tickets. But then some amiibo they'll give you costumes like Peach or Mario. So I'm wondering if it would work in that, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't because I tried Animal Crossing amiibo cards on it, and it said no, it has to be an actual figure. So probably doesn't work on that.
No, I'm guessing they'd have to do an update to whatever game for it to recognize that, since it's a newer thing. I also tried scanning it in Mario Kart 8, and nothing. Disappointing.
It is very much, though, as you kind of mentioned earlier, it is Nintendo kind of trolling us because how many of us have fought so hard to get one of these amiibo at some point, and now it's simply a sticker inside of a cereal box.
Which is still hard to get at a lot of places.
No value.
Yeah.
It's even a cheap box of cereal, so.
Well, we knew with the cards, like the Animal Crossing cards, like they can make it super thin and whatever, so that's all it needs to be. But yeah, it seemed like such a fake news story when it came out that you're just like, there's no way this is real.
Well, I said this before, but when they released the 2DS, they announced it on April Fool's Day, and I could have sworn it was a joke. I'm like, 2DS, seriously? Like that's the sequel to the 3DS as a 2D, and you're calling it 2DS, and it looks ridiculous too. Yeah.
Yeah. But alas, it was good. I still say it's a great pickup for if you don't have one and you're on the fence, and it's $80 to get admittance into the library of 3DS.
If you don't have
except for certain games,
if you don't have a 3DS family of systems already, then just grab a 2DS and some games, some Nintendo Selects, and they
even come with, like you said, they come with Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart 7 or Super Mario Brothers or now Ocarina of Time. It's like, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get the world's worst web browser thrown in for free with a horrible camera as well.
You mean the Switch web browser?
Yeah, the non-existent Switch browser.
The browser on the new 3D. The browser on the new 3DS is actually not bad, but I guess I don't know how the one on the new 2DS is. I would assume it's the same.
Yeah.
So if you have a Switch and you do not have a mobile phone, but you need something to look up game information, it's a good alternative too.
That's true.
That's a good point.
But that's one of those things we're still waiting on for the Switch. I mean, it's there. We know it's there. It's just we just don't have access to the browser yet.
True. All right. This is kind of a similar topic, but I think we can go a little different direction here. Biggest disappointment of 2017. What have you tried but then hated?
Tried but then hated?
Yeah, like what were you disappointed with? I mean, it's kind of a...
Well, I mean, when you just said disappointed, I was going to say Miiverse dying again, but tried and then hated, I guess I would say Pocket Camp.
Oh. Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
I think I want to change my answer to that as well.
Wait, what was that?
Is something that you tried and then hated? I would say Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Oh yeah.
Even though I didn't give it much of a try.
Yeah, I mean I didn't either, but yeah, it wasn't.
Oh no! Wait a minute. You give it a pretty good try there, as did I.
Yeah. I guess we gave it a good try anyway. We tried enough for you. Oh.
I've only played the game once. No, twice. 2 separate 30-minute sessions, and I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I can't keep going.
Yeah, I played it. I actually got a data usage thing from my cell service this month. I'm sure it was because of playing too much Pocket Camp while out of Wi-Fi range.
Not Fire Emblem?
No, I was pretty good about Fire Emblem because I know if I started into that, it'd be, a huge data drain. But I got to do Pocket Camp. It's Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I think I got a data alert from Fire Emblem when that first came out. But it was also the end of the month too, so I was already hitting the limit close to. But
any other disappointing moments for this year?
I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's hard to one up that.
The thing is, there hasn't been a lot of horrible stuff. I mean, I guess the biggest disappointment could be, the eShop. Like you said, there's a lot of garbage on there. It's still very. I guess maybe the lack of Netflix is a big disappointment. Just the fact there's no browser,
web browser,
there's no Netflix.
Web browser.
Like the just kind of the standard stuff that you expect to be there when you get a new console. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it's disappointing that it doesn't have those, especially like, with Hulu being there. I really thought like, okay, Hulu comes out, Netflix next week, YouTube, like everything's just they're gonna get everything out rolled out for Christmas. So when people unwrap it, I don't know if we'll ever hear any backlash. I haven't heard any yet, but I expected it to be like on Christmas. I guess for a lot of people, the biggest disappointment would probably be the fact that the eShop crashed on Christmas Day.
Ouch.
Like every other Christmas for how many years?
Yeah. I mean, it happened with one of the Wii U ones. The fact that it didn't crash on the others is because nobody was buying a Wii U.
Both people that got it, they had already done all the.
Yeah. But that was funny to watch unfold on Twitter for sure.
And Nintendo's reminded like 2 days before Christmas. Before you wrap your Switch for Christmas, be sure and do all the updates. It's like,
do all the updates, download all the stuff. Yeah, that's why I retweeted that, and I was like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, they should have said before you give out those eShop cards too, go ahead and load them to their account.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I can understand no company is going to build their infrastructure around one day of the year. To be like, we got to make sure it's solid, but it is disappointing that they know that day's coming, and they eventually got it back up within 4 or 5 hours.
12 hours? Oh, 4 hours?
Yeah.
Was it just
maybe it might have been longer than that, but yeah, that's a lot of time, and I just felt bad. Like, if let's say you got a Mario Odyssey bundle and nothing else.
Oh wow.
And they come with a digital copy because they can't include the cartridge in it for some reason. It's like you're just sitting there looking at a box with nothing. You can't even browse the web, and while you're waiting for it to come back up because there's no browser, there's no Netflix.
That would be the real.
And even if there was Netflix, you couldn't download it. So
that would be a real disappointment there if you only got the Switch for Christmas and no games. There's nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. There's no face raiders. There's no camera. There's nothing. You could just, unless you're OCD about like undoing the Joy-Con and clicking them back in or something. if you find that satisfaction,
read the news.
Yeah.
Read the Switch news.
Yeah.
Read about all the games you don't have.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so whatever happened with that game. That I think it was an eShop card that you scratched it with something and it scratched the code off.
Yeah, I got that resolved, but it was kind of embarrassing. I did do that one time. I scratched the back of an eShop card and
I remember.
Scratched all the numbers off of it. But Nintendo resolved it quickly. They were very kind about it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So I've got a pretty good disappointment here. Something that ended up not me personally hating, but how about the taste of the Switch game cards?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I did get one of my friends to do that. He's the kind of guy that'll eat a horsefly for a quarter. So it's just like, hey, stick this in your mouth. Okay.
You didn't want to do it yourself, Mama?
Yeah. No, I had no real desire. I could take the internet's word that it tastes horrible.
Actually, I actually don't have a cartridge to taste.
That's true. And you wouldn't really want to do that with a rental.
That was one of the first things I did.
Yeah.
How was it, Max?
It was bad.
How did Splatoon taste?
Not good.
It's not
calamari. My friends, I hear it hangs with you for about 20 minutes or so, from what I hear.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I don't know if it was that bad.
Did you give that guy a quarter?
No, I didn't even give him a quarter. It's just like, here.
Oh, wow.
You love Zelda so much. Taste Breath of the Wild. It's a smart idea, though. That's one of those things. It's like the company doesn't consider adding like more characters for Twitter, but it thinks like, how do we get kids to not swallow these cartridges? So,
that is uniquely Nintendo.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
But on a serious note, I did think of a disappointment that might be on par with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp for me. And that would actually be Star Fox 2. Because they announced Star Fox 2 for the
Classic.
That's true.
Yeah, and I was really excited for that. And then I went and played that and I was like, this is
I heard it was awful.
This is junk. I was excited about this for nothing. At least Animal Crossing, it was on mobile, and I kind of had the half expectation that it would be junk, and then I played it, and I was like, yeah, it's not for me. Star Fox, I was genuinely pumped for that, and then I was like, oh, I can't. This is garbage.
Well, there's a reason it took so long to come out. But some would even say probably the disappointment with that is the fact of how they released it. And that could also be one of the big surprises of the year as well, I guess, is that Star Fox 2 gets released, and it gets released exclusively on a mini console that we were all sure we wouldn't be able to buy even if we wanted to. But yeah, that was kind of a surprise and a disappointment at the same time. I still kind of expect if they do get a virtual console going, that's going to be one that's going to have to pop
won't be
up.
on there.
It's going to have to.
Oh, it will?
It has to. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would they do that to us? Would good old Nintendo do that to us?
Look at all the virtual console games that they left on the Wii and not on
They've
any
changed,
other
baby. We'll see. Yeah, I kind of wonder about that. If that'll see the light of day, other places. It's a sad way to sell consoles, but I think it probably worked for enough people.
Yep.
All right. So moving on to a lighter note. Best game experience of 2017. I should probably add a little
that's why
out there. Probably should have excluded Breath of the Wild.
Does anybody have one that doesn't have Breath? Yeah. Anybody have anything other than Breath of the Wild?
That's why you said it doesn't. That's why you said it doesn't have to be a game experience when you ask best experience Nintendo experience of 2017.
There we go. Get on to me, stretching the topics a little bit.
How about second best after Breath of the Wild?
Uno.
Uno's not Uno.
Yeah. No, I mean outside of Breath of the Wild, like you said, Rocket League's had my attention since launch. It's been nice to have a sports game, kind of. Doom was great too, though.
Yeah,
Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers, it was all right. I found people to play with online and was able to beat most of them. So that was. What were you gonna say, Q?
Oh, I was just
Ryu or Ryu.
Dark Ryu or whatever. Is it because you're the first person I've heard that's had that game. So would you say the added content was worth was it $40 purchase?
No.
Not really 40. I'd say maybe it was worth 30
20?
or less. But I mean 20.
We all know it's destined for the 20 bin.
Yeah. There were
What's going to happen to that when the new one comes out?
It was really laggy.
Oh yeah.
It'll probably be a little more interest in it, and then it'll there'll probably be a little more interest in it when the new one comes out.
You think?
And it'll just die off.
I kind of wonder if it'll kill that one.
Because how about when Splatoon 2 came out? Don't you think that gave Splatoon 1 a boost on the Wii U or no?
I don't know. I don't know if anything can give the Wii U a boost, especially because you couldn't buy a Wii U at that point.
Oh yeah,
because that was kind of surprising too. Is like the Wii U's it's like Nintendo bought them all back. Like I don't know what happened. Like they just disappeared. I don't know if they just were afraid there was going to be confusion, like in the marketplace. Yeah, but it's like they just disappeared. But no, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably been some Splatoon like the people who only had the Wii U and Splatoon and didn't have a Switch yet were probably like, well, I'm gonna hop into Splatoon 1.
Yeah.
I'm old school.
Also, some people went back and started playing Splatoon 1 again when Splatoon 2 was getting close or was announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like,
saw
this is
some
the
people
same
doing
game.
that.
Some of us were still playing
Yeah.
from the start date.
Although we wound down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, we had a few months off there. It's about 6 months, I guess, or so.
We took a little time off, but yeah.
Well, Splatoon 2 is probably my best game experience outside of Breath of the Wild. In fact, if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely choose Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
And definitely Golf Story was a big surprise to me. It's a really nifty little game if you have any interest in golf. It's fun.
That one has not yet been discounted yet either, has it?
I don't think so.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good games that have, like Rocket League and Stardew. I think has Stardew dropped? Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe not Stardew.
Well, this is their first game, and there's a lot of the others that are discounted are poor.
Ones that have been out for a while. Yeah. But yeah, Golf Story. I've not played it. I've not got a lot of interest myself, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. It was even nominated for a Game Award.
That's right.
Yep.
So
yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about it. Yeah, like Mo, it doesn't really kind of seem like my kind of game, but I definitely can appreciate like all the like acclamation and stuff that's been given.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I hear RPG anything, I back away from it. But
yeah, I like RPGs, but just golf. Golf is just not my kind of thing.
Did you back away from Super Mario RPG?
Super Mario RPG?
Yeah, I did. In fact, somebody gave me a copy of Super Mario RPG on Super Nintendo a few years back, and I promptly threw it up on eBay.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah. How much did that go for?
I don't remember. Enough. More than I paid for it. That's for sure.
Buy it now for $1.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got a little bit off of that. It's not a huge game. But hey, now I could just download it on I could use what I made off of that eBay to download it on the Wii U. All right, it's on 3DS now, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Not
Maybe
sure.
not.
I know it
might be. Yeah, I know it's on the Wii and the Wii U.
I have it on the Wii.
I liked Mario Golf,
Got into it.
so I don't mind golf games so much.
Tour.
We're from two different worlds.
Yeah,
to me, the RPG puts me off. To you, the golf puts me off.
Right. Yeah, disinterest for different reasons. But yeah,
I know everyone I've heard who's played it has loved it, as well as SteamWorld Dig 2. I've heard lots of good things.
Yep. In fact, T, who is unable to be with us tonight, I'm pretty sure that was her choice for Game of the Year this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
yeah,
says a lot.
I guess I'll. Yeah, other than Breath of the Wild, maybe I'll jump on the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 bandwagon here, or anti-bandwagon, since nobody else has the game. But bandwagon of people that have been praising and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome game. Great RPG, great battle mechanics, great story. There's a few questionable things. If you've seen some of the stuff online, all the questionable like sexualization kind of things like that, and overdoing that kind of thing. People
I watched the video game Donkey Blade video, which I don't know if you've ever watched any of his stuff, but he had some interesting fun with the game. The things I had heard about it were just that the battle mechanics take a little bit of learning because they're just kind of maybe unnecessarily overcomplicated. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's kind of the case for all Xenoblade games. It's not like straightforward. Like it's obviously not like Zelda, where it's just
right,
and it's not like Pokemon or any. It's its own kind of system. So it's going to take some learning, and each game itself kind of changes the mechanics just enough that you have to learn them all over again. But
yeah, I heard that the differences between, like, I guess in this one you have to stop to attack or something, and the other one you can kind of keep moving while you're attacking.
Yeah, this game introduces like it's called canceling, like art canceling. So to really like you can use your arts once they're charged up, but if you really want to get the most power out of your art, you want to cancel because your character will auto attack the enemy. If you want the most power out of the art, you want to cancel the auto attack at the right time, and it makes your art's attack stronger. So,
and then once you cancel the auto attack, do you start doing it manually or?
No, you cancel the auto attack by just triggering the art at the right time, but makes the art stronger.
Okay.
So, just extra mechanics like that you just have to learn, and the art system is a little different, and the fact that Xenoblade 2 has you have the actual characters, and then the weapons are also characters too that have their own attacks and like just affinities and things like that. So it's similar, but you still have to learn things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's
I've
a
been
great
most
game.
surprised that I have not seen the Pro controller on the shelf anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I also haven't been looking for it. But yeah, that's probably my number 2 game this year, and then I'd also give a shout out to Ukulele. That I've been playing that since that came out a couple weeks ago on the Switch, or maybe even a week ago, and it's been a fun game. It's for someone that grew up playing, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64. Those were kind of like my first console games, because that was kind of my N64 is my first console, so it really hits the right spots for me. And I'd actually say I like Ukulele better than Mario Odyssey. So,
wow, yeah, Z likes it a lot too.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think it's better received by Nintendo fans than it necessarily was by other people on other consoles. But I know they've made some adjustments and fixes and stuff to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, it feels like a Nintendo game, where it's like,
it's pretty at home on that console.
Yeah.
So, dare I take a guess at what Max's game of the year might be, or best game experience of 2017?
Oh, yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes.
Oh. That's probably the game I spend the most time playing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Hey Pikmin?
No. Yeah, Skyrim, I guess. It's nice to be able to play it and have the TV going at the same time. And being able to take
beats
pictures.
Out the Grisco?
Well, I'd say they're quite tie.
Yeah.
It
is nice to be able to take pictures of games that.
Yeah, or little videos.
It's very handy. Yeah.
And share them. That's really fun.
They need to do that with more stuff.
Yeah.
I wish the video feature was supported on more games.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried tweeting it.
I still have to
Psionics to get it for Rocket League. They didn't reply.
Rocket League would be perfect for that.
I still have to try the video feature. The video feature for 1-2 Switch, like, I still don't get how that would work. I gotta try it.
That's an option for that game?
Yeah, I'm not really believe it.
They added it. It's like all the action happens off screen. Like, so like unless you want to just have the screaming baby.
Yeah, the screaming baby is what it's
just a clip of screaming baby.
That just boggles my mind that they have option on for 1-2 Switch, but they don't have it for Xenoblade. Because there's been so many times I've just instinctively like wanted to record something in Xenoblade, and it's like can't do it, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's odd that it's not instinctively like just something that's part of the Switch. It's like they actually have to write it
Right,
into the
it's-
game itself. It seems
Yeah,
like.
it's like a software-based thing and not hardware.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is hardware, and
You
they
could probably
just
like hack it.
yeah. I don't know. It's definitely odd, but I do feel like I've filled up enough of my card with just pointless videos and stuff that and pictures.
Speaking of hack though, it is nice. It is nice now that we're not using Miiverse that you can actually say words like hack.
Yeah.
And if you're playing
and balls.
if you're playing yeah, balls. If you're if you're playing what is it? Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, you can say the detective's name is Dick Gumshoe without saying that is a restricted word.
That's true. Twitter does not adhere to the Nintendo Code of Conduct.
Yeah. As one of our friends
do they have Phoenix
on Twitter.
Yeah.
On
Just definitely
Switch?
found out.
I don't think on Switch.
On
They
Switch,
do on 3DS, definitely.
Oh, wait. On 3DS, yeah, on 3DS, but not Switch, yeah.
Although it's such a pain in the ass to tweet from a 3DS, and it's only supported by certain games anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't think Phoenix Wright supports tweeting it anyway, because you have to be able to save a screenshot.
Yeah, that's true. But you could say dick as much as you want on Twitter.
Yeah.
No one will say anything. They'll just give you a heart.
A like, you mean?
A like, yeah. I get them all confused. A like, yeah. A thumbs up.
A favorite.
Yeah.
Star. It used to be
Subscribe.
Stars. Probably still is Stars on the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's been speculation on whether they'll do anything for online, but when that service comes. But I don't feel like Nintendo's going to get back into the social media thing.
Too much of a hassle for them.
That's what Miitomo's for.
Yeah. now they can take all those bots and I don't know what they're going to do with them.
Do you have any other best game experiences? Did everybody share?
I know Momo liked the snipper clips a lot.
I did. That was and one of my friends is in the process of buying a Switch. He decided on December 24th that he really wanted a Switch and lives in the Atlanta area, which is major enough that or I guess maybe not, but close enough to that area that there just was none to be found. But he's like, "What's the name of that game that we were playing?" Because he had come up here, and I was like, "Well, hey, let me show you the Snipper Clips game." And we played through like at least one of the like stages, like one of the full pages of the game that has like 12 levels or whatever, and he was wanting to keep going. Like he's like, "That's really cool." He's like, "Me and my girlfriend will play this." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like it's weird because it's such a cutesy game that I'm not really a big cutesy guy. Surprisingly enough, but the mechanics are awesome on it.
Snipper Clips
I think it's unfortunate that the price went up.
Yeah. It's actually one of the games that uses the Joy-Con the most too. Or the best, I guess you would say.
Yeah, only because it didn't have Pro Controller support, but now that it does, I'll never touch it.
Right.
Didn't the price go up because they added DLC?
They added some DLC. Yeah, but I felt like they should have kept it optional like it is with Zelda or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like $20 is a good price point to bite on. Where 30, you're just like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, because the 20 was close. I never got it, and I'm still interested in the game. I'm really close to the edge of getting it, but it just hasn't.
It seemed like too much. It seemed like it should have been 15, huh?
Yeah, if it was 15, now if I had somebody to play with, like regularly, then I probably would have bought it for 20. But as a single player experience, it's just.
But I felt like 30 is going to kill the game.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see I don't know if they'll make a selects of it, but like a price cut or something.
Yeah, they should. That would be another one that would have been a good one to just throw in as well.
Yeah.
At launch,
I would have appreciated that as a throw in much more than 1-2 Switch.
because that was a genuinely great game. It makes great use of sharing the joy. Handing a Joy-Con to somebody else and just being like, "Let's go." It gives you use to have the stupid straps to extend the L and R button. Yeah, that would have been. It's not a tech demo, but it would have been good. I feel like HD Rumble's kind of been a bust.
Yeah, pretty much.
I felt like that was one of the features that hasn't felt revolutionary to me. And 1-2 Switch made some use of it, I guess. I guess Odyssey uses some use of Rumble. I don't know about the HD part, but
even a web browser on it would feel revolutionary at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Rumble.
That's kind of leading into our final topic of the best and the worst, and that is, of course, worst game experience of this year. I hate to say it, but for me, the worst experience, not saying worst game by any means, but my worst experience in a game is not being able to play team ranked in Splatoon 2 like we did in Splatoon 1. So I think that killed a lot of the multiplayer functions, for me at least.
And the voice chat.
And the voice. I mean, we worked around the voice chat just like we did in the first one. But.
Yeah. Which also ties in, we should have used a Nintendo app as the biggest disappointment.
I expected that. But yeah.
I still use that Splatnet somewhere, so
yeah, that's true. That's true. It like every other Nintendo mobile app has its uses, I guess. I don't know, the worst gaming experience.
Mine's still Pocket Camp. Which was also, what was that? My biggest, that I tried and hated. Yeah, so it's also my worst gaming experience too.
I don't know. I don't know, man. There's not been anything that I really say is been horrible. At first, when Bomberman launched its controls were a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
How about when you tried playing Uno online and you got kicked every single time?
You know what? You know what? You're right. Uno is my worst gaming experience because the online on that is so broken that I can't. The only time I can seem to get a semi-solid connection is 4 or 5 a.m.
3 a.m.
Yeah. It's like, otherwise, when you connect to another party, it just immediately drops you or kicks you, and it does it in such a way that you actually have to exit out of the entire game and reboot the game again.
Click through all the bull crap screens. That was worse than your RBI experience.
Yeah, actually. Because at least RBI baseball, when it crashed, it was completely random, and Uno you could count to crash every time. Yeah,
it wasn't guaranteed.
Although if you're just playing against the computer, Uno is a lovely game, and it probably works fine locally as well. Maybe, I don't know how that would.
Well, I guess for Q, worst game experience would be again Star Fox 2.
Yeah, Star Fox 2 was. I don't know if I'd say my worst experience because I would say
2017.
Yeah, for 2017, I would say Pocket Camp is a worse game than Star Fox 2 for me personally, but Star Fox 2 is definitely a bigger letdown for me. I'm trying to think if there was anything else other than those two that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pocket Camp's bad.
I can't think of. Hey Pikmin was. I got that game. I mean, it's a good game, but there are some very frustrating moments, like game design related things that just.
Yeah, I feel like the stupid cutscenes are not necessary, and they really bog down an already poorly paced game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pacing in that game is awful, and some of the things, like if you're trying to collect all the things, sometimes they pretty much force you to replay a level
To
because
replay the level, yeah.
you won't see where the collectible is until after you are past where you can go and collect it. Like,
Right, yeah, because you get to a certain point where it's going to drop you down a hole that you can't get back up or
Right.
something like that. And you're like,
and then you're
oh,
down
I
the
should have
hole.
gone left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you got to use your gold coins to buy a Hey Pikmin guide.
I never finished Hey Pikmin. That's like one of the ones that I couldn't bring myself to finish. And I think I had gotten sort of close. I was over halfway through.
Oh, you got a lot further than me.
I was like, I can't force myself to do this anymore. It's like binge watching a season of a show that you don't really care about. Like,
yeah,
I don't mind, but I just don't want to finish it.
I mean, it was a cool little game. I didn't think it was horrible, but it was one of those things like the novelty wore off pretty quick. And I just couldn't bring myself to keep playing that game. I think I stopped maybe halfway through like the second world, so I didn't really far at all.
It's one of those things like Chibi Robo Ziplash to me felt very similar, like where it's just like it's not a horrible game. There's nothing that makes me want to complete it.
Yeah, I got a little further with Chibi Robo because I kind of have more of a soft spot for Chibi Robo games, but yeah, it's the same way. I think I've got maybe 2/3 of the way through Chibi Robo, and I finally just had to say, yeah. But in Chibi Robo was kind of the same way, where it had some frustrating mechanics like that too, where it was just like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Those collectathons.
Yeah, I like a good collectathon as long as there's just some
it's well done.
Do's. Yeah, there's some do's and some don'ts. And Hey Pikmin had a lot of don'ts.
Don't make you redo a level a bunch of times.
I'm fine with redoing a level if it's like a genuine like mistake kind of related thing. Like
forcing you.
But like this thing, like haha, tricked you, kind of.
Yeah.
Like haha, like you chose the wrong path, and we didn't give you any sort of hint or designation of which way to go. That frustrates me.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
You're right. It's awful. I complained about that a little bit in Metroid too, which I love Metroid, the new Samus Returns, but there's so many upgrades in that it puts right in front of your face. But there's something that's going to stop you from getting it. But it's like the first playthrough I did of that game. I wasted so much time trying to get upgrades that I couldn't. And I shaved hours off of my time by just waiting until the end of the game and collecting everything.
Well, a lot of things with Metroid too is like you sometimes don't know if you have the ability to get that yet, so you spend a lot of time like
it'll let you get like 95% of the way to the thing. Like you'll be bombing tunnels through walls and stuff and going in a circle, and then finally you get to that last thing, and it's like, oh, I need a super missile, or I need a power bomb or something.
At least it's not a paywall that's stopping you from getting that thing.
No, that's true. It could have been worse. Although I don't know. At least that would be fair if I could. No, but it would have been fair if they were just like, "Hey, you just want to pay 50 cents to get this," rather than it's not so much that you can see it; it's that they let you actually pursue it for 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, and then are like, "Oh, nope, can't get it." That was just a poor design or a frustrating design, I guess. But whatever.
Did you put any you put a few posts on Miiverse from Metroid before.
Yeah, I got a few Miiverses in. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
You got a warning.
It was a good game.
Oh, was it? Yeah, it was that one,
And as a big Metroid fan, it says a lot that Breath of the Wild totally took everything for me this year, but because that was a really great game, and I feel like it probably didn't get as much love from people as it should have. Like it was well received by critics and stuff, but I don't think it sold very well.
You'll be raving about Metroid Prime 4 next year.
Maybe, or 2019. But we'll get there. Anybody else? Awful? Horrible? Worst? Guess not.
Well, it's officially time then. 2018 predictions. So, I think we have to start with our predictions the way that 2017 started for us, and that was with the Nintendo Direct in January. When is the next Direct, and what will it be about?
January.
January. What they always do it on a Tuesday, or they don't always have a set time, huh?
Wednesday, I think.
Maybe the 31st Wednesday.
Yeah. It'll be
What will it be
sometime in the
about?
next 30 days.
It'll be about how they're doing us all a favor by extending our free access to Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
Nintendo Online services because of our fan passion.
Yeah. And EA will show their fee game in it. Oh.
So, no new games, none of the unique experience that we're going to be getting. No,
I feel like we're gonna get some more ports.
Yeah. Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Could it be a Tropical Freeze year?
Hey, we still have to get that definitive Smash Brothers edition.
Yeah.
Oh, that's in there. Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if we got a 1.5 of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could pour it with extended levels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like they did with Donkey Kong on the 3DS.
It'll be fun to watch how the sales do this coming year. Now that the kind of fervor will have a chance to have died down, like what kind of drop off they have on their sales.
Well, we can rule out games that won't fit on a 32 gigabyte card because they said they're delaying that till 2019.
Yeah, that's true too. That's okay. I don't mind downloading stuff.
What'd you say, Q?
I said, guess we're not getting Metroid 4 till 2019.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's a 2019 anyway.
At least. I feel like that's like the next Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I feel like we will get Yoshi and Kirby because they showed them at E3 last year, so that means they've got enough to at least show. Think of how many years it took us to see any of Breath of the Wild. So.
How about we missed one? How about the Animal Crossing on Switch, and then also Pokemon on Switch?
I wouldn't be surprised if those are both 2019ers.
Yeah, I think so.
At least one of them.
I can maybe see Pokemon hitting a Christmas time. Animal Crossing.
How many years has it been since New Leaf came out in 2013? It's been
2013.
4 years, and next year it'll be 5 years.
Yeah,
I think we'll see Animal Crossing at E3, and then I don't think Nintendo will do the announce then drop with Animal Crossing. I think it'll be a long process like all the past games have been.
Yeah, I could see it early in 2019 maybe.
City Folk was a pretty quick release though, so it depends on whether Animal Crossing Switch is like New Leaf. Like, how City Folk was kind of like Wild World re-release, like with a few extra.
Well, it'll depend on if they try to make it bigger. Like we've talked about, like will they do, like an Animal Crossing city instead of a town, where maybe put more sim kind of things into it. Where like, are we gonna get a fire department now?
Well, some of the games they've already announced for 2018, right? Like Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
And then Kirby, what was that one I said? Kirby Battle.
Something? Yeah, the 3DS one, right?
The
Kirby Battle or whatever. Oh, there's also
Oh yeah, there's gonna be
Project Octopath.
Too, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's got to be coming.
And that's one I think that's probably my most anticipated game other than Metroid right now, because I really enjoyed that demo.
I feel like 2018.
Oh, you're like the only one here that liked the demo. What'd you like about the demo?
I just really enjoyed the battle system, the unique like differences between the characters, like especially the one girl character.
We
You
all
didn't
liked
just
that
do
it put
one
us to
character. You
sleep.
tried.
Oh.
The final boss for the female character, the old man in the chair. I mean, that was
that was pretty hilarious for me. I got a big kick out
Wait,
of
so you
that.
did all the characters? You didn't just play through with the girl?
I did both characters.
I did as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It took me about an hour each,
It's
and
good.
I liked both of them, but I preferred the girl storyline, or preferred the girl one a little better. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I really enjoyed the demo and even played around. I think there's some stuff you can do after the quote unquote main story of the demo.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And I did a little of that, but yeah, if that's a 2018 game, which I think they said it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully they'll get out of the working title.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that becomes.
They might as well. I mean, they better call it Project Octopath Traveler. Like at this point, that's what everyone knows it as.
At least reference Octo, because there's 8 characters.
Yeah,
something along that.
They'll make something unrecognizable.
But I will predict that 2018
like,
has to be a slower year. I don't think they can maintain the pace that they did this year.
No,
I don't think they're going to have hit after hit after hit. Yeah,
they can still churn out like 300 crappy mobile games a month.
Yeah, they can. I mean, they can churn out the ports and stuff to pepper it. Hopefully, we see some cool third party stuff that we don't know about yet. Like I said, I'm all for taking PS3 ports.
Haven't they already announced like a Tencent game too? That Arena of Valor, and then
oh yeah. They had mentioned that. I think that's coming. I know it just hit mobile like within the last week or so. Which I don't know how it is, but it's huge in China.
Well, it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they already
Tencent,
blew their
really evil.
Do you think we'll get another Mario Kart on the Switch? Period.
That's tough.
Because traditionally it's been
Mario Kart?
because it's traditionally been like a one per console.
I don't think so, but hey, maybe on the new Switch. Hey, that could be another thing too. The new Switch in 2018.
I think that would be a very late in the life of the console type game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of like and kind of Smash as well.
Yeah. I as much as I want a new Smash, I feel like they're gonna do like a
Deluxe,
a Smash 4.5.
It would be a great way to promote the new Bayonetta game.
Which I'm actually I was never interested in Bayonetta, but I actually got a chance to play one of the games on friend's Xbox, and I actually enjoyed that game. So I'll be keeping my eye out.
Yeah. There is a demo on Wii U for Bayonetta 2, by the way. If you've never downloaded it,
so I may get the Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2 on Switch when those release next year.
I know that's when Max.
Here's a prediction. How about Switch Fit with the Wii
Fit
balance board?
Hey, Nintendo's supposedly still sitting on all that quality of life stuff that they said going to be coming out.
They're gonna release
in 2015,
and it'll have disembodied robot legs.
Oh yeah,
to go right along with arms.
Yeah.
That way you can play your Switch while you sit on while the robot legs walk for you and you sit on it.
Yeah, it's the autopilot for Switch Fit. Yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of wonder. It seems like they're in such a tough position after the stellar year that they've had. There's absolutely no way they can live up to it. They've already blown their wad with a Zelda game, a Mario game, a Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, Xenoblade. It's like Xenoblade. I always feel is like a late game. Not a first
Auto 5 port.
The first Xenoblade on the Wii was late in the Wii's life. X was pretty late in the Wii U's life, and then Xenoblade 2 just boom.
It's helped that they were probably developing it for Wii U, and then they were just like, "Hey, let's move it over to Switch."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
How
surprised if
about Grand Theft Auto
2018 is.
5?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we could see
I
that.
could see that in the holiday next year, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if 2018 though is kind of like ends up being
blah.
kind of a year of like
Drought.
B grade titles. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we
Yeah.
got like
Shitty Madden.
no, that's like F grade, but
Yeah,
like a new Wario platformer. Like we haven't gotten one of those since the Wii. I would
yeah.
love
It
that.
seems like 1-2 Switch seems like a WarioWare game to me.
Well,
Like,
I'm not talking WarioWare. I mean like
you want like a platformer
Wario Land kind of
Yeah,
game. And Yoshi, it's debatable whether that's AAA. Like
yeah.
it's AAA, but like top
Technically,
tier Nintendo franchise.
right?
But
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Kirby
They
kind
want
of the
it to
same
be.
way.
It's
But
gonna
when
be a cute year.
to me, when
Yeah,
to
I
me,
say we
when
get a Box Boy collection. Sorry, Jay.
I was just saying, to me, when they said unique gaming experiences, my first thought
Oh,
was
yeah.
all these games that probably need need a new game in the series, but haven't got it. And I think Wario is a good example.
yeah.
I'm gonna
I would
say
absolutely
Ness's
love.
Yo-Yo.
And when are we getting that Mother 3?
I think we're gonna get a yo-yo game where you use the Joy-Con like a yo-yo.
Oh,
Um,
Oh,
that
hey,
is
that could go along with
that's
Star Tropics.
yeah. Oh, I was thinking it would go along with Earthbound.
Yeah, go with both. Revive both series in one fell swoop.
I don't know. I kind of would love to see them port Star Fox Zero and fix the controls.
That would be that would make
Like
it actually
get
a
rid of the
decent
second
game.
screen. Yeah. Just get rid of the second screen, make it like Star Fox 64.
which is what the
Fix
fans
the
really want.
controls. I mean, that's the way that they could save that game. Yeah. Rather than have to redevelop. Like I said, they could just call it New Play Control Star Fox and and boom, he fixed it. I think it's just going to be a lot of ports coming.
Yeah.
I don't expect anything huge, but there's always going to be surprises. And
Yeah,
I
because
have
didn't
no
they
idea.
say that
I'd
there's
love
going
to see
to
F-Zero.
be unique gameplay experiences
Yeah,
in
that's what they
2018?
say, which to me just means a bunch of like new IP or IP I don't care about doing zany things. Like
You
that's
think there
why I
will
feel
be?
like we will see Wario.
You think there'll be new IPs after we've ragged on ARMS all night? Do you think they're going to be so eager to pop something new out, or?
I think there's going to be new IPs like on the level of a Tank Troopers, like
Yeah,
like the
eShop
new IPs
eShop
that are like
level.
like eShop. Yeah, like
I don't.
I think there's going to be a lot of eShop kind of games.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do a new like top tier kind of like ARMS level IP for 2018.
Right.
Maybe give that a break until they might reveal it at E3, and then it might be a 2019 maybe. But I
Yeah.
can't see anything real big. Like maybe like a Dylan's Rolling Western kind of like eShop kind of stuff like that.
Subwar Steel
Sub
Diver
Wars.
2.
Yep. We'd
God,
love
that'd be
another one of
perfect.
those. Yes.
Yeah.
We would never leave our Switch again.
No, I'd at least play it for a little while anyway. Like, so that's such a cool game. But I think those are the kind of tier titles that we're going to be looking at are eShop exclusive. Look at me, I'm fun, I'm wacky, I'm zany, I'm on Switch. They're going to kind of take the year off after they've had all these big hits this year. I think there's no way they can keep up that.
Even though
pace.
Nintendo has said that they're going to keep the momentum rolling through 2018.
Yeah, I'd love to see them try it.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I mean, like I said, the pace was pretty much every month or every other month there was a big hit coming. So it'd be great to see that. But I also feel like third parties are going to step it up this year because they know what they've got now, and they've had at least a year to develop now. So
I agree with
We'll
you
see
there.
some stuff.
I think that will be a lot of the month-to-month keeping it going things will be third-party support.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I also predict a ton more trash mobile ports.
Yep.
Oh, and we should.
Like,
we're probably
what?
also due for another mini Mario game too. It seems they always have one of those like every
Yeah.
other year turning
That's
out.
true.
Yeah, Mario Minis.
What were some games that came out during the Wii U era where they came out on PlayStation and Xbox, but they skipped the Wii U? Like maybe we would get some of the. I can't think
Yeah.
which ones got skipped.
I still think they should probably re-release that Fatal Frame game too.
Yeah, on a 64 gigabyte card.
No, they wouldn't need it. They could do it
They
on
wouldn't need it.
They fit it on the Wii U. They can fit it on this thing.
I think another game that we'll probably get is Wonderful 102. That was kind of teased very briefly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Platinum Games.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
I
we'll get
expected,
a Wonderful 101 re-release. Maybe a
at the
combo
Game
rival.
Awards when
Yeah,
they
that's a
mentioned
perfect
Platinum,
port,
I thought
yeah.
we were totally going to get 101 because
Yeah,
that's
do you
one
think
that
they'll
didn't reach its
they'll be
potential.
working on that in conjunction with Bayonetta 3? I don't know how big of a studio they are, so
Yeah, no, I think it's one at a time. But they're obviously almost done with Bayonetta 3 anyway.
Maybe they'll
Do
do
you
an
think we'll
F-Zero game.
I'd love an
Yeah.
F-Zero, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Well,
I would like to see what do we know what Retro's making? I don't think we know what they're making yet.
True.
We know it's not Metroid.
And what have we
Like
heard
Zero.
anything lately from Next Level Games either?
I don't
The ones that
What do they
made like
make? I forget.
Luigi's Mansion 2, the old Punch Out on the Wii,
Oh,
Yeah.
Mario Soccer games.
I think we got to get a Punch Out for Switch at some point.
At some point, I don't know, next year.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
I could see that maybe come to Switch at some point.
Unless they think ARMS means that people don't like boxing games.
Maybe
I hope
another
not. I
Kingdom
really want to
Hearts
Punch
game.
Out.
talking about you mentioned Mario sports games there, and
Ugh.
I realize now
We're overdue for one.
2018 is an Olympic year, and they recently
Oh.
pulled the Rio
winter.
Games.
Is it winter or summer?
It's
it's summer. No,
It's
it
one
is
or the
summer.
other.
Yeah.
it's one or the other.
No,
Rio was the
wait,
last
wait,
one.
2012 was summer. 2012 was summer, so
So
16.
we're at winter. We're at
20
winter. This
Yeah, we're at winter.
I really
Definitely not
I
spring or
hate
fall.
winter.
Mario and Sonic at the
Oh,
Winter
yeah.
Olympic Games. Yeah,
That's a guarantee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where is it? Is it in Tokyo?
no, that's the Summer Games next time. Correct.
It seems like
I think it's in.
Is it,
Yeah,
I think
is it
so.
Sochi? Is it Sochi? Or is
No,
that last time?
that was
That was last time. I'm
that
just
was
gonna
2014.
I'm just gonna Google
it.
Yeah, they've got them planned out for the next. I don't know that Mario and Sonic are going to keep Olympicing together.
Should Pyong?
Think that's it. Think that contract has ended.
I feel like they've said all they can say with that series of games.
Pyongyang.
I thought they
Wait, did
said
you
all
say
they could say.
Pyongyang?
Yeah, yeah, in South Korea.
That's where the Winter Olympics is going to be?
In February. Yeah.
Oh, it's the perfect time.
Isn't Pyongyang the capital of North Korea?
South. Or I don't know if it's the capital, but it's in South Korea.
And see, January Direct, that'd be a good setup for a February release. Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I find it hard to believe the Winter Olympics are going to be in Pyongyang, North Korea.
South Korea.
South.
I don't think Pyongyang is in South Korea.
I don't think so either.
Well, it says
it's not Seoul.
It's in the county. Is that county name? Isn't that what it said?
Let's see.
Yeah, Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea.
It's Pyeongchang, not Pyongyang.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm looking at the logo right now. I know it's
Yang, not Chang.
Eric,
Jeez.
man.
Chang, not Yang. Either way, I say Sonic and Mario don't show up, but Kim Jong-un does.
Oh, so what is it now? Kim Jong Un and Kimishima at the Winter Olympics?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
That would be hilarious. I would love to see Kimishima in any game.
Oh, do you think
Yeah,
didn't Mario make an appearance at the last Olympics? You
That's
think
right.
he'll?
yeah, to
Yeah.
promote
Yeah.
the
Well, that
Japan.
was
yeah.
because Japan though.
Yeah, that was for the next
Yeah.
Summer Games.
That's kind of a scary place to have the Winter Olympics with all those
stuff.
missiles they've been launching.
Yeah, they didn't.
Well,
They
they've al-
didn't
they're not
think
gonna-
about that years ago when they when
I'm
they
not gonna-
won the thing.
Yeah, they
They're not
planned
gonna-
those Olympics out well in advance.
They're not going to intentionally blow themselves up, hopefully.
Yeah,
They're more interested in blowing other things up.
but I think another Mario Sonic would be a big bomb.
If
Yeah.
they're not already bombs.
Like I feel like that's one of those titles like these horrible B movies like the Sharknadoes where they put out one and it makes a certain amount and they put out another one and it makes a little bit less, but they got enough to put out a third one and it makes just a little bit less, and eventually it just doesn't make enough and they just say let's stop making them. Like
Well, they're still
I
making
feel like
Just Dance. That's
that's
another
true.
2018 game.
Somebody's buying that though.
Yeah.
And
Somebody
they're still
has to
putting
be.
them out on the Wii,
Yeah.
On the way.
Yeah.
the original Wii.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about
It's
a Just
a miracle.
Dance 2018 for the Switch?
It's already out.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Get with the
Okay,
times,
2019 for 2018. 2019 for next
2019,
year.
yeah. It seems
I
like
do
that's a
have a-
game where at some point they can stop putting a year on it and just have DLC.
That's true.
Like,
I'm pretty sure they have DLC for each game too.
yeah, I just don't know how much the mechanic changes
Yeah.
to warrant them tacking on
It
another
doesn't.
year to it. But
I do have an interesting idea for the Olympic Games that could save it. Is if they went the Wii Sports route. Took off the Joy-Con, incorporated that. I think that could be a winner.
Oh, possibly. Or with Sonic Mania being so
Oh.
huge and Mario Odyssey having a 2D thing, maybe they could have a 2D Olympics.
Hey, might as well make it
Boom.
8-bit.
Yeah. They could do that as an eShop exclusive. New experience.
New experience.
But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict with Nintendo because you know there's going to be some sort of crazy crap that comes out of nowhere that we had no idea of.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh, I
like the
can't believe
pocket
they're
card
doing it.
jockey.
Yeah.
Like the
What about the
Pocket Camp?
Pocket
Pocket
card
Card
jockey. That's something
Oh,
I don't think
Pocket- oh, yeah.
anybody
The
Yeah.
3DS
expected.
hit. Yeah.
Yeah. What were we gonna say,
I
Jason?
think Jason liked it.
Yeah, it was a good game. What about Touch Battle Ninja for 3DS? That's another game that we did not mention. That's still upcoming, right?
Yeah, there's also that
Oh, is that
Sushi
the
Striker.
The sushi game?
Sushi Striker's what I meant instead of that. I apologize.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sushi Striker's still on the way.
I forgot about that one.
I just googled
Oh.
Ninja Nintendo game to get the title. I forgot the name as well.
I don't. Maybe they'll re-release Flip Wars again, and no one will notice.
I think they could release that every month and no one would notice.
Yeah. Fortunately, it looks like garbage. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's not a lot of sure things, but we do think that the online's delayed.
That's sorry to say. We have to talk at least a little about the online service.
So Nintendo of Italy, apparently on their website, said that it's now not coming until fall of 2018, which buys them time to actually figure out what they want to do with the online, I guess.
Yeah, well, more time we get it for free.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think there's going to be a whole lot of complaints. Like I said, I expect them to spin it in the way where it seems like a positive, and not that they just don't know what they're doing. They'll say, "Thank you for making it such a big success. We'd like to go ahead and continue to give you free online."
Without Virtual Console.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we still thinking that there will be no virtual console until the online is launched? The online
I have a
is-
feeling.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
I have a feeling those are
Except
going to
for
be
the-
tied together.
except for the random, Mario versus and
The
all those.
arcade classics. Yeah.
Yeah,
which will bring us a Punch-Out game. Well,
Yeah, I am kind of
eventually.
intrigued by that one.
That's the only one I'm interested in. Yeah, just because it's unique.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel like Super Mario versus. So we know we're gonna get that. I think I don't know. Do you think we'll get Switch rewards on my Nintendo?
We better. They said
They've been coming
since,
soon for
like,
9
March.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what we do? Will it
But
be
then
Flip
again, they
Wars?
delayed the
20% off Flip Wars.
online service.
That would be something that they could
Yeah,
do.
that's what you get.
Yeah.
I really think that will also be held until we get the online service.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They would delay the online till fall, so they'll probably hold off Switch rewards until.
I could see that. I feel like a lot of people
they'll
might
still
not
say
even
coming
know
soon the whole way.
Well,
Nintendo's a thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to hit on there. You can earn coins for My Nintendo by playing mobile games, but there's nothing on the Switch that makes you link directly to My Nintendo. You know what I mean? There's not like
not even in. Oh, except if you buy a game, a Switch game, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the rumors was that Nintendo Switch was going to add an achievement system. So that might be something.
That was supposed to leak from. Was that from EA leaked that or
NeoGaf? I think
some little studio.
That's true.
Some guy. Some dude.
Time on his hands.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any big blockbusters. I feel like the only ones I really have is just that they can't keep up pace. And we'll probably see a lot of little eShop titles from Nintendo this year.
Yep, I can agree.
Yeah.
So, one other update type thing that we haven't talked about. Will we see any updates to the actual Switch itself? As in, will we see alternates to Joy-Cons? Other peripherals that we could connect?
Maybe a new Switch in Christmas. So it's still like Christmas. That would be a year and 8 months from the original. So
yeah, I don't know if it's far enough out for another hardware update yet.
Could
I bet we will see.
3DS.
We're definitely going to see some more Joy-Con, and hopefully they'll
For the
start
3DS,
putting out like
they released-
Splatoon and stuff. Joy-Con.
Yeah,
definitely new bundles.
Original 3DS was March 2011, and then the XL came out, I think, the next year, right around summer.
Yeah, and the new took a few years though
Yeah, the new
to come out.
The new came out at the same time Xenoblade did on the 3DS.
Yeah, because it's only playable on the new.
Yeah, that's the only game that I have and know of that is like that.
Yeah.
You know, there is a section in the 3DS eShop. Oh, sorry.
For new 3DS.
Yeah, for new 3DS.
There's also that great
it's
IP.
Awful.
Steam. Wait, what was it? Steam. Can't remember what
Dig?
it's called now.
Heist.
No,
Codename Steam.
Abraham Lincoln.
Codename Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. But the Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, it's got a discount on my Nintendo right now, which is funny because Best Buy had it for like less than $5.
Yeah,
I saw that game on Amazon for like $2.50.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. Best Buy during Black Friday.
$2.50, not $250.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll. Maybe they'll make a new IP in 2018 based on public domain stuff again. Like, let's see, what could they?
Oh, please no!
They already used Abraham Lincoln.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark. Yeah.
I think. Did we mention the Fire Emblem game that was supposed to come out next year?
Oh, that's right. We did not mention that. And I have to say, I've been playing Fire Emblem Warriors. And
yeah, did you just get that?
Just a mainline Fire Emblem title next year. But go ahead, Jason.
Oh, wow.
I just said just playing Fire Emblem Warriors just made me really want something on Switch.
Oh, I didn't know you ended up picking up that game.
Yeah, just like
Christmas gift. So.
Oh, okay. It really made me want one. Mainly not because of the gameplay, but just the graphics. How awesome everything looks. It's like, man, I can't wait for a Fire Emblem game, an actual Fire Emblem game on this console.
What do you think?
Maybe we'll get a Amiibo Festival Deluxe.
That'll be our new Animal Crossing game.
Oh wow! Might as well get a Federation Force too.
Yeah,
I
With
actually
all
like
the mini
Federation
games
Force.
unlocked. Oh wow! Okay.
I still haven't taken the wrapper off of mine.
But what were you gonna say, Jason?
I was just going to ask you what he thought about for Fire Emblem on Switch. It's going to be all new storyline, or is it going to be like Fates and
you're
Awakening,
asking
or
Q?
is it going to be? Well, anybody that wants to comment on it. I think it's going to be new style, old style.
Hopefully new.
Thinking old style, but I don't know.
I definitely don't think they're going to go back to like I think what they've done with Awakening and Fates, where they have like things catering to newer people to the series, like supports and all that. I think it's going to keep going along that line with like the kids and marriages and all that.
Yeah, Awakening was the first Fire Emblem game I played, so I thought that's what you meant. But yeah, no, they're not going to be like the DS ones.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go back. I think Echoes was an exception, and I think I even remember reading somewhere that Fire Emblem Echoes is going to be a new, like, separate line of Fire Emblem games where they'll have the classic style going through those, and then Fire Emblem games on the main line.
You think we'll get the Echoes games on Switch though?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of our few 3DS releases again next year. Is another Fire Emblem Echoes.
Keeping them to the wire.
But
yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see Fire Emblem Echoes like the Binding Blade or whatever, echoes of that game.
Oh, that would be brilliant. As you know, I've probably harped on it for many years now. I've still wanted to play that ever since playing the original Fire Emblem game released here in the States.
But yeah, maybe we'll see that eventually. Or, if they go back to Advance Wars, I would love that too.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that's one that keeps coming up.
Yep.
A lot of fan passion for that.
Fan passion.
Fan passion. Any other predictions for 2018? Any kind of craziness?
Anyone more collector's editions?
Yes.
Seems like Nintendo's really liking those.
Especially on Fire Emblem games. They keep going.
Anything that's RPG, it seems they've been doing.
Yeah.
RPG.
Yeah.
How about a prediction that Reggie is brought down by sexual harassment allegations?
Oh wow!
Against Bill Trinan.
Bill Trinan brings him up. Or Bill Trinan too.
Yeah.
No, against Bill Trinan.
No, I was saying Bill's the one who turns him in.
The sexual harassment movement rocks Nintendo.
It could go either way.
Oh, I really hope that doesn't happen. That would
Krista turns in Kit.
That would be a reason for people.
Yeah.
Oh. I've been thinking he's that way too.
Yeah. In this instance, the Nintendo Minute was only a minute. That might be too far. Yeah, I don't know. I think they play it safe enough. I wonder how much time Reggie's still got left. I kind of wonder if they'll ever cut him, but
I feel like he's been there a long time, but
we've seen a lot of these kind of Nintendo characters take a back seat. Miyamoto hasn't been out in the forefront a whole ton. Trinan hasn't really been out a whole ton. Reggie, it feels like, is kind of tucked back. Letting Koizumi do everything.
I really thought when we've seen Koizumi in January, I thought that's the only person we would see in a Nintendo Direct, in a Nintendo announcement. They'd have him on, as the face man.
Yeah.
But we have seen Reggie this year. He's always quotable.
A little bit, yeah. I guess they give me 3.
Yeah, he's usually that's what he has going for him most is being quotable, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see a ton more Nindies this year, and
we'll
I feel like
see.
everybody's making that shift from 3DS onto Switch now.
We'll see a trending hashtag on Twitter. Hashtag my body is not ready.
And my body is not ready for Switch Fit.
Yeah.
No.
There you go. Switch Fit.
No. Yeah. I don't know if we'll get any more fitness things, but I kind of feel like the Fit has run its course.
No.
Maybe that'll be the next mobile app instead.
Oh yeah, that actually would
Only
be
they
too
can
bad.
integrate. If only they could integrate it somehow into the actual board, though. Which I don't know that they could.
I mean, just like I don't know. I'm sure Androids have something similar, but iPhones have a little health app that comes with it. It'd be nice if there was a Nintendo health app, but that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, they could definitely do something like that.
Walk a mile, get 100 platinum coins.
The Switch Fitbit.
Trade in play coins. Trade in play coins for platinum coins.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they give us something. I could predict wallpaper is probably pretty certain.
Yep. Year of wallpaper continues.
Yeah. Sure. I think we will get themes.
Oh, they would really. It would be really shocking if when they finally come out with the Switch rewards that they're physical rewards, but probably won't do that though.
Only in Japan.
Only in Japan.
But maybe, who knows? Maybe they could launch the themes and stuff with My Nintendo. Yeah. That would certainly be better than Flip Wars, but I'm expecting 20% off Flip Wars. Prove me wrong, Nintendo.
30%.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. 50.
20% off crappy mobile port.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see any stuff like that. If I know Pokemon Shuffle would probably work. I'm kind of surprised with as much mobile stuff as we've seen ported over that we haven't seen any of Nintendo's stuff ported over. I feel like people would pay $10 for Super Mario Run if it was on Switch.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can play it two-handed.
Yeah. Finally.
But then you can't eat your cake while you're playing it.
That's right.
You probably still wouldn't really need to, though, because it's just a one button. They can make that such a one button game. All you've got is jump and long jump.
Yeah.
Just hold it different amounts of time.
Yeah. But I think.
What about Amiibo? Will we see more Amiibo in 2018? I mean, they've all but made fools of us with the cereal.
Yeah, we'll see some. We'll see some Amiibo. I have to.
There's nothing on the horizon for Amiibo currently.
We'll see some
right?
Metroid Prime 4 Amiibo.
A new series of Yoshi Amiibo. A new series of Kirby.
Kirby Amiibo.
Yeah, I could see Kirby Amiibo.
Oh, I guess there is one set of Amiibo. I don't know if they're out yet or not. The Shovel Knight Amiibo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The triple pack or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it has come out. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say it has, but
yeah, I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. I've got the Shovel Knight Amiibo, but I don't need these other guys.
I don't either.
There could be
probably
new Fire Emblem.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. New Fire Emblem Amiibo for the new game.
Yeah, I think so as well. And if they continue the Echo series, we'll probably get one for that as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're done with Amiibo yet.
Nope.
Although you gotta think its days are numbered.
It's got to be greatly reduced. I think they've got to really pick their battles with them.
Yeah.
I don't think the stores will want to stock them, honestly.
Disney Infinity, I noticed Toys R Us was blowing out for $1 a piece.
Oh.
It's worse than Animal Crossing.
Well, I mean, that's dead. The Lego Dimensions is dead.
Yeah.
Skylanders is kind of dormant, I feel like. I don't think there's been a new Skylanders game, since whatever the one was last year, was it?
They were releasing them pretty quickly there for a while.
Yeah. So, but it seems like the Toys to Life thing's going away.
How about all 300 Animal Crossing villager amiibo?
Yeah. Right after they do the full set of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. A full set of Pokemon amiibo for Pokemon on Switch.
They could do it as a mail
700 amiibo.
Yeah.
Mail
Like you'll receive one a week for the next 10 years. Be quite a collection. Anything else?
Well, I think we're pretty much ready to close it out.
I feel like we've covered the year.
That's right. It's been a long, exciting year, and it's been a long, exciting episode tonight. So
yeah,
sure has.
So before we close out, I want to thank everyone that's tuned in throughout the year and listened to us babble on about Nintendo. Hopefully, you've enjoyed at least some of it. Maybe learned a thing or two. I know I certainly have.
Wasn't all bad.
No, not at all. It was a lot of good time. So, and of course, I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us tonight here in the podcast. Q, it is good to have you back. Hope you'll get to join us.
It's good to be back.
So
yeah,
soon it will be 2018, and we'll find out about all our predictions if they come true or not. So Happy New Year, and see you next year.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
See you next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy.